your controller to basically be a flight stick. I was like, should I even waste my money?
Bruh. I'm like, I don't even know if I can enjoy this right now.
Yeah, it's hard to move that thing because everything is counterintuitive, right? Which makes sense. That's how space flight should be. There's no gravity. So like everything's counterintuitive though. Like it's like you're just kind of like literally up is down, left is right kind of thing going on.
Talking about Squadron?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
I like being in a freaking X-wing though. I can't lie about the like chasing down a freaking TIE fighter in the X-wing just feels cool.
It feels different though when you're in a TIE fighter versus an X-wing.
Does it feel different? I haven't done anything on the Imperial side yet. I've just done my favorite ship is the A-wing, and then the X-wing. Well, actually, it's a tie between the A-wing and the X-wing, but I like the A-wing because it's the fastest. But the X-wing is probably the most balanced.
That's true.
But yeah, the I haven't done anything on the Imperial side, but I just assumed they were all kind of like the same, except for they had their own like archetypes. Like this is the Interceptor's their A-wing, the blah 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 is their, you know.
I think the TIE fighters are a little bit faster.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you the one thing I hate about TIE fighters, or at least fighting them on the game, right? Whenever I've done like the training where you have to like beat a ship, like beat one of the what you call it, the Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
Like those TIE fighters, like it's hard to get the right angle on them so that you're like they just fly over, like they're, you know, because they're AI, so they're just peppering you when they fly by, and I'm like, how do they even land a shot moving at that speed?
Because AI.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like it's super like inaccurate. You know, we're trying to like left, right. I spend most of my time dodging.
Left, right, down, up.
A, B, start.
A, B, start, unlimited ammo.
Did any watch Andre Zik on YouTube?
Who's
That name
that?
sounds familiar.
He does like finance videos on YouTube. Like if you ever watch Graham Stephan, YouTube will probably recommend an Andre's video. I just bring him up because he has a referral code for what I was talking about before. Unfortunately, I don't know any chocolate people talking about crypto that has a referral code, so
listen,
can't really promote that.
I know black people that talk about it, but they're all talking about it from the
hey, what's going on? Isn't that crazy? It's happening.
Yeah, or like let's buy it. Like, but they're not talking about mining it. They're just talking about like they're basically treating it just like stocks. Every black person I've heard talk about crypto is like, oh yeah, just to do dollar cost averaging or whatever. So
Blerdimension, bitches.
But anyway, we do need to do a blurred coin, and I was thinking we make like an NFT trading card game.
That's what
hell
we're
yeah.
Like Magic the Gathering, like something like that, where it's like
yes,
but it's like,
that's what we were talking about.
Bruh.
Why are you trying to make millions out here, AJ?
Hey man, you gotta still do it. These people, you gotta still do it.
An NFT, like a digital card game. Yeah, so we could think of the logic for that shit.
Yeah,
like just like
that's
game perspective. That's the hard part.
Great, but the hard part is making it work, because if everybody could do cryptocurrency, like everybody would have already created their own, right? Everybody would have done something with it. You see YouTubers with their own cryptos. You don't.
Like, what's going on? Blurred coin would absolutely be fire.
Oh, yeah.
One of these days, you know.
Shut up. That's the perfect place to do it.
It's about to go down.
Blurred coin
is about to go down.
Yeah, I was thinking like once I started seeing like all these coins just popping up, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make one, because it's too much brain power here. We can all put that together and make a coin. That's not that big of a deal.
BlurredCon would be the perfect stomping ground.
For Blurred Coin.
BlurredCon and DragonCon. because Dragon Con is in
Atlanta.
Atlanta, and that's where mostly all black nerds
Congregate.
congregate. Yeah,
Black nerd mecca.
yeah, pretty much.
Let's see. Y'all about
I
ready?
think my
What is
internet-
Oh yeah.
yeah. Get on my
You ready to get
Oh
started?
no.
Man, they're trying
Damn.
to ask me for my whole life to sign up for this thing.
Sign up for what?
BlockFi?
Oh
Yeah.
damn.
What's your social security number? They want to know where your mama live.
Everything.
Just in case you try to skip town, they know where your precious peoples are.
I'm just trying to get my Doge down.
They call you from your mama house. Where you headed, Carl?
You got plans? You going out of town, bro?
just sitting here with your mom, having some tea. Yeah.
What's going on?
Don't take too long. Yeah, have a
So
good
don't
time
take
when you go to town, but
There we
just
go.
remember,
Just remember where you at.
yeah, just remember we're still here, and Mom's is here
Right.
for now.
So from
Click, and then you saw.
Speaking of which, I guess we'll announce it when we get. Do you want Talk
Deeper
about-
into the show.
for Sunday?
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh,
you probably
yeah.
should announce it later
I got
because the stream just started.
We'll announce it later. We'll announce it later.
What's today? Oh shit, that's this fucking Sunday. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm not giving you my credentials, guys, to my bank account. Not ready for that. I need to deposit some. Like, nah, you gotta figure out some other way for me to populate this.
I mean, they trying to, Carl, they're trying to help you out. You give them your Cash App. Cash App got a route number and shit now.
That's true.
Oh, for real?
True.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, it's on the what you got page. It does have a run. I don't even think about that. I see it all the time when I'm looking for like the
Dorsey
hours
better
to
calm
put buttons
down.
He won't, bro. He won't. He's like, nah, I got this under control.
That's why I got my That's how I got my tax refund.
through your
Alright.
Cash App. That's crazy. That's crazy.
nuts.
I haven't used it yet. I just noticed that it was there. That is crazy though. So do y'all want me to make the announcement like after the intro, or do y'all want to? How y'all want?
Yeah,
to
I think you should make it after the intro.
All right, bet. Do they? Real quick, JK, do they have like a link for where it's gonna?
Yeah, I got the Zoom link. They just sent it.
All right, bet. Or like the link to the event, like the website.
Well, they got the Zoom link. They don't have to the event.
Yeah.
What
Hold
was
on,
the
I got it right here.
HBCUcon.org?
Yeah. There we go. Bet. All right, it's almost 10. Y'all ready to start?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thank y'all for joining us and welcome to the podcast. Follow us at Blerdimension here and on YouTube if you haven't already. Oh, and on IG. Also on IG. Turn on notifications so you can be the first to know when we got new content for you. I'm Kavon, Negrito Suave. We got JK, Beasternal.
What up? What up? What up? What up? That's all I'm saying. I don't care.
That's like the slowest intro.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
We got Creston. we got Creston, not Sir.
What's going on, everybody?
Jay Noslinja.
How's everybody doing?
JD Creativity.
What's up, everyone?
And Carl XKBHX.
What is happening?
We got 3 segments. Oh, damn! I'm all over the place. My bad, y'all. All of our pronouns are he, him, and his.
Yeah.
So we got 3 segments for y'all on the podcast. We're gonna talk about what we've been consuming this week and what's good. That means like comics we've been reading, shows, anime we've been watching, any of that good stuff. Then we're gonna talk about some nerdy news and headlines. After news, we got a topic of the week to discuss. This week, we talking about crypto. So definitely hang out for that. After the podcast, we're gonna take a short little break, and then we're gonna get to after podcast gaming. We're gonna play some Rocket League, of course, Orange versus Blue, and then we're gonna play some Halo Master Chief Collection. So stick around for that as well. And we got some super exciting news. We're gonna be on a panel at HBCU Con this weekend, this Sunday, at I think it's 4 p.m. Put a link in the chat for anybody who wants to register. Come see us talk about our all our respective blurred origins. So yeah, it should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. And we hope to see some of y'all there. But yeah, y'all want to get into what's good?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Who want to
Sounds
start?
good to me. I'll go first.
Okay.
So new anime season for the most part. Not sure if you guys have picked up anything new. We got My Hero Academia doing pretty much the same stuff for the most part. Nothing really too interesting there. What else? Anything that really stood out? To Your Eternity. Yeah. Interesting. Animation's really nice. Not really getting the whole story yet, so I'm not going to fully suggest it, but all in all, it's something that's new. Zombieland Saga, couldn't even get through the first few minutes, but again, something that's new. 7 Nights of Revolution, not bad for an action anime for the most part, but again, not fantastic. And then still watching through Gate, which has been amazing. Gate is an anime that's kind of isekai-ish. Basically what happens is modern world Japan gets a gate connected to kind of like fantasy sword and magic type of world, and from there basically like fantasy magic world tries to invade modern day Japan. And normally you would think like in isekai version, like dragons come in and magic comes popping all off and killing everybody. But nah, we just take the gun out and pop the dragon in the head and the dragon goes down. And so like logic dictates that makes sense. Like what is a dragon gonna do with an artillery round? Like it is still flesh and blood. It go boom. And so basically like this little army comes through the gate, gets decimated, everybody gets destroyed. And so then modern day Japan, when you think about it, a whole nother dimension kind of opens up with a stabilized gate. There are resources on the other side, other things that we can pillage to help improve our stuff. So like, and then that kind of like erupts with like other nations, like, oh, Japan's weak sauce. Like there's even like a thing like where it flashes off to like America, and America's just like, should we invade Japan, take it over so we can get access to these resources? Like it's a really good, it's good. Exactly. Like they're just like, why is Japan like, why did a gate open up in our area? Because like, that's America's first thought. Like if there is another place that they could take resources from, like they're gonna go take it. And so like never thought about it that way, but it is fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of doing it a slow burn. It's like an episode every week. Because there's like I think about like 13 episodes for a season. But all in all, it's great. It still has some of your basic isekai tropes, I guess you would say that. Like cat girls, elf girls, all other junk. But still, it's they go over into the fantasy world with tanks and heavy machine guns, and they decimate kingdoms because that's what would happen if you take a gun into the Middle Ages. It's
and there's no real
magic.
Wait, there's no like
they have magic.
And it's just not. It's not up to snuff.
It's just not up to snuff. Like when you really think about a fireball versus like a missile, like a bullet, like it's faster because like they have cast times, right? So like they're not like instant selling these spells. They're just like, may the fire fairy grant, boom, a bullet to the dome. Like it's easy. It's too easy. And then like the dragons are harder to deal with, but all you really need is a tank to put a bullet through their stomach, and then like it's easy. It's
something
yeah.
Preston wrote. That's what it sounds like. Because
Yeah,
he
I love it.
hates fantasy.
I
He
love
hates
it.
Exactly, right?
I
It's
love
literally like you give Preston a fantasy role. It's like that's an easy guy right there. I got teleported with a machine gun and in a world filled with swords and magic, and now I'm the king because bullets.
Nigga,
Gun go
Doom.
brr.
That's doom for him.
That's doom for him, right? Like he
Transport
would love that.
rifle.
I
Be like,
would,
oh
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm so tired of dragons, dog. I'm so tired of that shit.
I'll
Like,
never be
get the-
tired of dragons.
get
He
the
would love
bullshit
that.
out of it. It's so
There's an anime that was about
man. Like, let's move past the dragons already.
there was an anime where it was it was like 7
They're not that cool.
what was it, 7 geniuses in different
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty tight. Yeah, 7 prodigies against like the fantasy world. Yeah,
was good.
that shit was good. Did not get season 2, nor did the manga. The manga got dropped too.
Yo,
Got
really?
rich off of mayo.
Yeah, manga got dropped too. Like it's you gotta think like these isekai thing, like they be throwing them out there, like especially in Japan, and like they just be like producing these things left and right. So a lot of them like kind of go if they get a massive fan base behind them, they'll move forward. Because it's the same thing here in America. Like they got us. It was popular, but it wasn't selling merch. Like it wasn't. People weren't like all about it. Like I'm sure Sword Art Online would have got dropped too if it wasn't like if it didn't blow up as fast as it blew up. You know, so like it's weird. These things are hit or miss, and that's why they produce so many of them.
It's just like Super Sentai was dipping down before Power Rangers came out in America, and then all of a sudden it was a surge because they changed the dynamic of the show to be have drama in it instead of just fighting. And then Power Rangers blew up, and then next thing you know, 27 years later, one of the most popular kid shows in the world, still going.
My son absolutely loves it. But yeah, that's what's good for me, man. Really been hitting anime hard this week. What else? No Real Comics didn't go to the comic book store this week. Last week kind of tapped my wallet with the little ones going, and then the little one and my eldest kind of going crazy in there. So I didn't pull anything this week. No really interesting drops happened either. No stories that I think are definite pickups.
People have been shitting on Marvel lately. People have been shitting on Marvel lately. Because they're running out of they're having more events and getting away from their actual storylines.
It's the inevitable progression of comics to do that. Like they have like a really good like opening. Like oh man, this is because DC did the same thing with like the New 52, right? The New 52 sucked, right? So they got rid of it really fast.
Yeah.
So another one, that one hit really hard, and everyone's like, yeah, we kind of like this newer, kind of like this reestablishing of the universe. But now it's like as it gets older and older, you run out of stories to tell. There's not that many stories to actually tell, and so then the characters keep getting captured, changed. You see that they'll do stuff like. I'll go for it.
Hold up. Nah, we gonna touch on that.
Oh yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that in the what you call it. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of stuff happens with these comics that you can't really control. Like it's just an.
Oh shit! Tech, you froze.
I see that.
I was like, oh, this man been scratching that one eyebrow for a minute.
It looks like he's straightening it, like he's like getting ready to go to a party.
Yeah, like he licked it.
Yeah, light skin shit.
Bruh, love that.
I just joke.
Y'all gonna stop with this light skin hate.
I didn't even catch it because I disconnected.
You can't control who took advantage of my ancestors.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so who want to go next?
All right. Yeah, I can go next.
All right, what's good with you this week, AJ?
So obviously, the Falcon and Winter Soldier was a topic last week. Watched it Friday. The fourth episode was better than both the second and the third. And the first and the fourth are kind of were both entertaining to me. I still kind of like feel like it's kind of empty to me. Like, and I think I had a lot of hope because Falcon now being the only black Avenger. I mean, unless you count Samuel L. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulder, right? Like to be special, and it's like it feels kind of like, man, he's just we missing Chadwick in real life, right? And that's going to be the removal of T'Challa as well. So It's like that character T'Challa was really well fleshed out, right? We kind of felt him. You saw him in Civil War. You kind of saw him become a king at the end of Civil War when he decided not to kill Zemo, and then he basically did that whole Black Panther movie where you see his evolution into his way of thinking. So that kind of growth is just gone now, and as Black people looking for our like identities in a show, like okay, where's and I know it should be more simple, but it is good to see people that look like you doing stuff. So it should be more simple. I should be able to just see a person who has my viewpoints and be cool. But it feels good to see someone that looks like you. So when that person is probably the weakest member of the Avengers now, you're like, okay, well, he's got to be special some other way. And I'm not finding it in the show. And I think the Pipe Gamer posted in the show's channel that maybe they're missing a plot line, and that makes a lot of sense because the second and the third episode were really kind of hollow to me. I was like, they don't really seem. It's just like things just like zoom, you're here, then zoom, you're here, then zoom, you're here. But like I didn't feel anything or learn anything. Not really. I mean, you learned where the story was going to go next, but you didn't really learn anything about the characters, in my opinion. It didn't change who I thought those characters were. The first episode did a good job of letting you know where Bucky's at and where Sam's at, but the second and the third episode didn't change where they are, really, except for meeting Isaiah Bradley, which was cool, but
trying to build the whole premise of the super soldier. Like, should we have another one after Steve Rogers, or should we just leave it alone, basically?
Yeah, and so I'm kind of like, I'm kind of having I think I'm too into this, and that might be why I'm so harsh on it. Because WandaVision, I went into that with no care in the world. What happens to these characters? I mean, Scarlet Witch is actually my favorite Avenger right now, and she has been since for a minute. I like Elizabeth Olsen, and I also like the Scarlet Witch. The way that their version of her is cool, right? I don't think I would have liked her if she looked like the Scarlet Witch and sounded like the Scarlet Witch from the comics.
Or from X-Men Evolution.
Yeah, well, she's closer to X-Men Evolution than she is to the comic version. She's very punkish,
right?
She had like the jacket on and everything. Yeah, so
kind of combined it a little bit. They're like, what? Let's get that little edgy, because she is kind of edgy, but give her that normalcy Scarlet Witch look. Yeah, like bring her to this century, because the Scarlet Witch in the comics is wearing period pieces in the present. And so they're like, oh, the X-Men Evolution, she's wearing a punk rocker jacket. Let's do that. But I still like Wanda's character just in general. I liked her better than most of the Avengers. And so I was kind of going in there like, Vision's cool too. But, they have cool power sets and stuff like that. So it's like, I was interested. But if it was terrible, it wouldn't have affected me emotionally, right? I'm like, man, that was bad. And that's it. But I'm like, Anthony Mackie, man, all of my Avenger hopes are riding on you for some reason. It's obviously because he's the yes, Spider-Man. I did forget about War Machine, but that's because he's not really he's like the sidekick of all sidekicks. Like he only shows up to remind you that there's somebody else with an Iron Man suit, and then he dips out, right? Like he doesn't really actually do much. Like in any of his scenes, he's a sidekick, right? So Falcon is kind of going to be the next Captain America, as we're all assuming that happens in the comics, and we're assuming that's what's going to be his next step. And it's like, man, but he's just don't, like I want him to be more special somehow. Like I don't know, and it's hard because they didn't give him that stuff. They didn't make him super smart. They didn't make him good at.
No, he's smart. You can tell he's smart, and they hinted at it when he was fixing Red Wing at the beginning of the first episode. So you're like, oh, okay, so he got some kind of engineering chops. Right? He's not Tony Stark.
They downplayed it a lot.
Yeah, they did, but like they made the joke, and I'm like, okay, I get it. So he can actually, he's got some engineering chops. He's got some, he's not just like a hotshot. He's not Top Gun, right? He's a little bit more than that, and he has to be. Right, in Top Gun, he'd have been fine just being Maverick or whatever his name is. I forget which one is which. Maverick is Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Iceman is
Iceman is Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, right? So yeah, he could have just been Maverick in a movie where there are no people with the ability to literally rip apart space time, right? Like Wanda can literally rip apart the fabric of the universe. So it's like, nigga, a pair of gliders ain't gonna make me feel confident about how you can help the team. So I feel like maybe that's why I did hate on him bad last week. So I'm just prefacing why I hated on it so bad, because I was like, this don't feel like nothing to me, man. Like I'm a little, I'm a little kind of hurt that the black dude has such a weak storyline. And so episode 4 was kind of cool. Just in general, you got to see Sam be a counselor, which is what he does, right? He's a counselor. So you got to see him be a counselor. You got to see Dora Milaje, which is always cool. Anytime they're in any scene is cool.
Boy, she's the most badass.
And they never have needed a super soldier serum.
She said
they could be Captain America, I'm sure.
She said
just 2 of them
have no jurisdiction here.
No, she said.
She
their
said,
jurisdiction is wherever
they have jurisdiction wherever we go. I was like, okay.
They have the jurisdiction wherever they find themselves to be. I was like, that's the coldest line I've ever heard. She was like, so
she actually plays one of the Amazons in Wonder Woman.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. She plays the main black Amazon that they show in Wonder Woman.
I didn't see that. So she must be like a stunt kind of actress, like known for being physical.
She is. Yeah.
So that was real cool seeing that. Johnny Walker's arc is kind of interesting because you're seeing him become the villain, which is cool. So episode 4 was good. I'm not gonna hate on it. For today, I don't go back if I feel like I said if I said something and it's my opinion and I feel like and I felt that way, I can't go back on that. So I can't tell you, oh, I love it now, right? That episode made me love it now. The episode was entertaining though, which is how you fix these issues. If 5 and 6 are as good as 4, I mean that's what the split.
That's the last 2.
It's like 60%, right? 60% of the show or whatever. It's something close to that, right?
That's D. That's D average.
Yeah, but it'll be better than nothing. So watch that. It was all right. Liked it. All right. So we'll see tonight. Tomorrow morning, we'll see if 5 is as good as 4. I also watched My Hero. They finally got into the actual arc that's part of the story and not just like the extra 2 episodes they give you at the beginning to kind of like pad the filler they give you at the beginning to pad the seasons so they can like give their animators, I guess they give their animators a couple extra weeks. I don't know what they're doing, but like they always have those 2 episodes at the beginning that are not part of the story at all. It's just like something they shove in there. So I watched, we finally got to the point where it's like the guy who controls minds is back in the story again. Right? He can, if you answer his question, he can control your mind. The first person Deku fought in the tournament.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So he's like the new. He's gonna be. You can see his arc. He's gonna be like the Azawa of their generation, right? So just like Eraserhead is, who he is to like Eraserhead's got a cool power, but it's not overpowered. It's powerful, but it doesn't make him powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like Eraserhead gets jacked up all the time because the nigga run out of eye drops and it's gonna be a problem, right? So the that guy's gonna basically be like Eraserhead 2.0 because that's way more superpowered. Like, and so you can see, and I've read the manga, so I know exactly what's gonna happen in this arc. But it's cool to see it animated. And I also read the manga that's out now, right? The current issue or the most recent episode or issue. And Deku's just, man, that All for One is, or One for All is a cheat, man. He's just so many powers, like so many. So many powers. He's pretty much like one man wrecking crew. He shows up and he's got a power for every situation now. In this arc, you'll find out about the Black Whip, which is basically the person who's writing this. I forgot the artist's name, but he's a Spider-Man fan. So Black Whip was his way of adding Spider-Man to My Hero Academia. But yeah, so he just has all these powers. He's at Deku's like at his like vigilante stage where I'm at in the manga. So it's like he's like way cooler, I guess, because Deku's not really that cool until he does something. Right? Like he's not inspiring until he's punching somebody in the face. Before that, he's just like, man, shut up. Like, but then he started punching people in the face. Now, all right, you can keep talking. But
I'm done.
So yeah, so I caught up on the manga as well. I read some Solo Leveling, which is always good. At least so far. I ever since I picked that comic up, I've been like, you know what? Every episode's interesting. There hasn't been a downbeat. Yeah. And then I play some Spell Break, which is basically Magic Fortnite. I do it right after work to go down from work. I'm like, let me get out here and blow. I know it's kids. I know I'm playing against children. There's no way adults are playing this game. It's just me and some kids, and they are whooping me. The only way I can beat them is to be invisible and sneak up on them and kill them. That's how I win. If it's 1-on-1, they Harry Potter in the crap out of me. I'm getting a Spelliarmus all over the place. I'm like
Spelliarmus, I'm done.
But yeah, so I play that to cool down after work. I'm not that great at it. Although I got a couple first place finishes because of my tactics. I'll be invisible all over the place. And then brand new anime, guys. I found it. None of you guys ever heard of it. And I would like to bring it to the group.
Absolutely.
Well, here we go.
We always appreciate your contributions.
Yeah. It's called That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime.
Motherfucker.
Oh, time out. Stop everything. This is the same reincarnated as a slime.
Wait,
this motherfucker said he tried twice and couldn't get into. He said he tried twice and he couldn't pass my AJ test. Twice. Couldn't hold my attention. Nigga said it couldn't hold my attention. And now he wants to bring it to the group?
I recommend, I recommend this anime to anybody who's looking for a new one right now in this season where there's like kind of a little. If you haven't seen it, it's got plenty of episodes. Animation is great. Story is kind of funny. Characters are cool. Character design is here or there.
AJ needs his own critic, like Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Artists. That's what it's called. And
I should have a Rotten Artist.
Having sample proves like this is
3 broken pins or whatever, like it's like a broken print, broken like some kind of like malfunctioning pin, like ink spill is my failure.
Oh, so like you have like give it half a paintbrush,
half a paintbrush or spilled paint bucket. Yeah. Spilled paint bucket. That's what happens. But yeah, so I did start watching Reincarnated as a Slime, and I noticed some things that like I can tell. Okay, this person went to animations. I think the artist, and this is just my opinion. I don't know. I should probably do my research before I say it, but I'm saying anyway. The artist himself, I think, probably wanted to be an animator before they became a manga artist because a lot of times when you're learning to animate, you start out with like a ball and you deform it and then you stretch it and you deform it and you stretch it. That's how you learn how, and so you do the rubber ball, the ball bounce, the ball drop, right? The ball drops, it stretches, it hits the ground, it flattens, and then after it's finished deforming, it lands solid into a circle, and that gives you the sense of energy transfer. So that makes the ball look like it's rubber, even though it's lines, right? So you can tell like that this character literally started out as like study. And then they're like, okay, I think it would be funny if there was a character who is a slime, right? Who's like just like a blob. The same thing I'm using, for my study and animation, I'll just turn it into a character. And so there's a lot of that kind of like morphing of shapes in that show, which I think is cool, and that kind of stuff interests me. And it's following the trope that we see these days, where the main character is super overpowered, right? And the real story is about everybody else around it. Yeah, like the main character has no troubles themselves. They're real cool. They can do whatever they want. Just power, just out the wazoo. And then like the people around them are actually driving the plot. Like, who's this person I meet? What's their problem? The main character has no problem. And it's a weird thing, but you see it in a lot of manga and anime. You see that Shield Hero was kind of like that, except for the main character had a problem at the beginning, but you could see that he was more special than everybody else immediately. He just started picking it up. So yeah, I like it. I probably watched like 20 episodes so far. I'm pretty sure I'm getting to the end of this first season, but it's good. I'll admit that it's good, and then I'll also admit that I found it and brought it to the group. So you're welcome, guys. Anybody who says they watched Reincarnated as a Slime this week, you're welcome.
So that's what you're going with?
Yeah.
That's what you're sticking to?
Yeah, and anybody who's on the stream, don't watch any of the. Okay, watch the episodes, but skip my section of the what's good, because just don't watch it, because it's more of the same. But because I have always been saying this about slime, I brought it to the group. Nobody else has brought up slime.
America, that was some bullshit. Okay, so just keep going.
I'm good.
All right. So, what about you, JK? What's good this week?
So this week, well, what's it? Technically, that's whatever. So I watched a bunch of shows. So I watched The Nevers, which is actually really good, on HBO Max. It's basically like X-Men, sort of, back in the 1800s. Is it 1800s, 1700s?
One of them
16, I
fucking.
don't know.
It's like a Victorian period. So like
it's Victorian period where people were still nasty as hell. So that's take it as you want. It's actually pretty good. It's during the times that Jack the Ripper, so to speak. So during that time of age, it's actually pretty good. They have different people with different they call it afflictions or disease, whatever, but really it's just they have been touched. They call them the touched. I don't want to spoil why they call that, but basically people have different abilities. Some can see in the future, some are super smart and can see energy waves to create things. Some have healing powers, some are just crazy as shit and just like killing people. So it's different stuff. It's actually one cool one. It was what was it for her? Well, there was two. There was one girl, she is like gigantic woman or gigantic girl.
Giganta,
that's it. And she's basically, I think maybe 10, 12, and she's like taller than the building. So, and then another one where a black woman has like fire powers. It's pretty interesting. But
weren't that big back then.
So what?
I said at least buildings weren't that big back then.
Yeah, that's true. And most of them are children. They live in an orphanage. So that's run by a duchess, and it's pretty interesting. If y'all haven't watched this, only one episode in. I think it comes on every Sunday, so you can check that out. I watched Them on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
That shit was good. That was you can't tell whether it's psychological or real life because it's based on it follows a family in the 1950s who have traveled from North Carolina to California to live a better life, whatever. So the father is an ex-army vet, who I won't tell too much story, but basically he was not a Marine, but he was an army vet. Came back home. Mom was teacher. He has three kids. And they move into this house, and it's an all white neighborhood basically, and so of course some of the white people don't like it, so they try to force them out. But there's other stuff that's going on to kind of there's other stuff behind the scenes regarding with different stuff that happened back then in the 1950s. It's by Little Marvin. I don't know who that is, but I heard his name before. I can't remember what other stuff he did. So what?
Sounds like a comedian.
It does, but he's a director. But it's really good. It's really good in the sense of showing like back then the times of how people came about, especially Black folks in California. Because they're coming into East Compton. So West Compton is basically filled with Black families all over the place. East Compton is like the suburban white neighborhoods or whatever. So, but yeah, it was a really good. It's 10 episodes, and by the 10th episode, you're like, oh, this shit. I'm like, to me, I wouldn't be surprised if this shit happened in real life, and we just didn't know about it. So, that's that. I watched Nezra Reborn, which is on Netflix. It's the sequel to Nezra, which is a Chinese animated movie about a kid who is basically half demon. And in this movie, he is basically reincarnated into this guy who is like a smuggler to smuggle like in this world where cities are split up and water is dangerously like low on resources. So not only do he have like water coins to like get water and stuff like that, but also he like smuggles stuff to help families and things like that. It's pretty good. You can watch it dubbed, which the dub version is not bad. They actually had good voice actors, so I watched it in dubbed. They also got The Devil Punisher. I started watching that. It's a Korean it's a Korean live action. No, is it Korean or is it Japanese? It's an Asian live action, basically. I'm sometimes I mix up my cultures. Watch My Hero. Trying to catch up to Attack on Titan. I think I'm behind by one episode. Watch Let's Fight Ghosts, which last episode was very sad. Very sad. You know what's fucked up? Like, you love somebody in a certain form. Like, for instance, he loved this girl. They both loved each other. And come to find out that she never died. So she's basically just astral projection of herself, or a ghost or whatever. And she comes back to life. but doesn't remember him at all.
Well
And
then.
they were boyfriend and girlfriend and loved each other. And he's like, I'm your boyfriend. She was like, I don't know you. She's like, you're not even my type.
Damn.
I was like, what the fuck?
That hurt. What the
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I was like, that's kind of cool. And he's like, okay, so what is your type? He's like, well, person I'm comfortable with, warm, handsome, blah, blah. He's like, I was like, shit, I've heard this before. God damn. You talking about I'm not your type, but everything you listing is exactly what I am. So, sounds like you just don't know what the fuck you want. I'm joking, but anyway. But no, it's really good in the sense of the drama and the action is pretty good. Last episode they found out, or at the end of the episode, she basically remembered what happened to her and who did it, and and she's starting to like him again. So pretty much grow that relationship, and then she hears like some certain footsteps behind her, and she recognized the footsteps as the footsteps of the person walking up to her when she was like laying on the ground dying, and she was like, "Oh fuck, it's you." And he was like, "Oh, now you remember?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you done? Yeah, you fucked." Yeah, but no, it's a good show. I like it a lot. There's some Asian dramas that are actually really good in storyline. But what else I watched? Been watching Crescent play Doom. I think he finally beat it. No? Oh shit. Premature, but he'll beat it.
One of the last boss.
I saw him play and I was like, this man fighting not only a big ass demon boss, but every damn demon astral projection that can happen. I'm like, why?
Torture.
I was like, why?
I love it.
And I was like, okay, well, have fun with that. Been playing Outriders a lot. They finally
when's that video coming?
This weekend, because the other day I didn't feel like doing it because I was tired of shit for some reason. But I helped Justin get to level 24, 25, something like that yesterday. And we had some fun fighting some bosses. And he was like, "Oh, is this the push you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he starts like, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on?" I was like, "Yeah, try doing this by yourself." He's like, "Oh shit, I don't want to do this by myself." I was like, "Yeah, that's why you got me. That's why I went through all the trials and tribulations, so you don't have to do this alone." But
man over here sounding like a saint of Outriders.
I'm not a saint.
Oh hail, Beast, the saint of Outriders.
I'm not a saint. It's just, I'm just that nigga. It's whatever. What else?
Thou art thou nigga.
Saint nigga.
What else? There's some other shows I watched when I had my sick day. I was watching some stuff. I've been playing Warzone. I'm curious of what they're gonna do with their new event coming out for season 3, or season 8, wherever season it is. Where's the nuke?
Are they supposed to like officially like merge Cold War into Warzone now or something?
No, I think it's more of like they are nuking different parts and causing people to turn into zombies.
Oh, so they're combining zombies with
Yeah.
That's what they did with the Blackout. For
Blackout. They had certain like the cemetery had zombies.
Yeah, that was pretty tight.
And Outriders, they came out with a patch for the inventory wiping.
Who was that? Tech? You got afflicted by that?
No, thankfully I didn't get my inventory wiped. I just got the progression bug, and so basically it knocks you back So I think I did like a run with maybe like Beast or Suave or maybe it was Justin, and it was a save point prior to the one that I was at, so it basically backed me up in the story, and it basically just overwrit my save. And it happens when you were doing crossplay, not even crossplay, but like just playing with
Somebody else.
teammates
Yeah.
and somebody else. But definitely if you're doing crossplay, so like if you're trying to play with a PlayStation person or playing with a PC person, that's kind of when the inventory bug hit people. And it's really unfortunate because like if you take a look at Outriders now on Twitch, versus like last week before the inventory bug really started affecting people like widespread, it has decreased because they were averaging about 23K, and that was on like third week of launch. And so here we are now, getting on the fourth week of launch, or maybe no, this is the third week of launch. So that was the second week of launch.
Yeah.
So this is the third week of launch, and now they're around like 11K, I think, last time I checked. But I mean, still better than Anthem. Like Anthem at this point in time was averaging like maybe 100 viewers, or so because of all the bugs they had. Inventory bug is big, but it's not. It's like their only issue, outside of like the progression bug, which is not very widespread.
Yeah.
But they fixed it, and how they handle getting inventory back for players who lost it, I'm not sure. They said they're supposed to be able to re-establish it from like the dev post, and if not, credits will be given, like basically in like in-store money, and then like there'll be a sale of like legendaries or something like that. But still, nevertheless, shitty. But I didn't get the bug.
And the only reason why viewership went down or stuff went down is because people stopped playing because they were afraid their stuff was going to get deleted. And
Bingo.
Which is funny because I've been playing this whole time. They've been hollering about it, and nothing's happened. I was like, oh, okay, well. And I think truthfully, when it comes to Outriders and when it comes to any games, they appeal to the mass. They appeal to their streaming masses. So like all the streamers, all the people who play because that's their job. They appeal to them, and to the people who play maybe like an hour, 2 hours, or play every once in a while. Like it affects them even more because now you have people who want to play and have fun and grind a little bit too, but now they have to get over the hurdles that are appealing more to the streamers in a sense. And it's kind of, I mean, I understand why, because that's mostly the people who kind of drive the community or whatever, especially with builds and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, y'all can still adhere to your bigger community, your community base, but I don't know. But yeah, so they said that they're gonna have it to where the inventory is gonna come back if it gets wiped, and for people who've gone through server issues, everybody's supposed to be getting like a number of titanium, a legendary, and some other stuff gifted from Square Enix, and people can fly. So we'll see about that. But it's been fun though. I did 1 or 2 expeditions, and I had to tweak some builds, but it's been fun so far. And
what do you think of the overall impressions of the end game compared to like other looter shooter end games?
It's a lot. It's the lifespan of the expeditions are a lot more fun because it's a lot more fun, and the lifespan is going to be a lot longer because one, it's like time trials on steroids. So it's not like a raid or anything, but it's a fun time trial where you can, if you're playing with friends, you have to coordinate based on people's abilities, and have it to where you set up set up the team to where y'all can get through stuff faster. So if you have like a pyromancer and a technomancer, you want like the technomancer to be able to lay down fire and cause damage, while the pyromancer can like use their anomaly power to like burn and lay down damage very fast too. So but hopefully, my thing is, I don't know if they're gonna do DLC. I hope they do. To expand the world. They were talking about having Outriders 2 because they want to dive back into that world. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think that's it as far as everything. I know I'm looking forward to next week. Mortal Kombat.
Hey, so I might actually we like the driving movie so much we might actually hit that joint up for
Yeah, since
Mortal
you
Kombat.
said the driving theory was good, I may go
It's
to
not
it.
too far from you. It's in
Yeah, Ashburn's not too far.
Ashburn, yeah.
Cool.
I'll just bring my lawn chair.
So do you want to go, Chris, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I can go ahead. So as I was just talking about the drive-in, we actually went to go see Godzilla versus Kong at it's a drive-in movie theater out in Ashburn,
Perfect movie
Virginia.
for a drive-in.
Yeah, it was like
Perfect movie.
I think I like I like the movies. It like it added like a good like 3 points to like this overall, like how I felt about the movie. Just that whole experience. It was perfect. And I didn't even and the funny thing is like I wasn't even really offended by the human characters and the plot and that like it wasn't
It's
as
manageable.
yeah, it was handled pretty gracefully. Like it
Right.
didn't need to be there, but like it didn't offend me. It didn't like make
As
me
long as they
mad.
keep pushing the attention back to Kong and Godzilla, they're doing their job. But the
Absolutely.
moment it's like you worried about those, like they're trying, like the first Godzilla, it was like a couple. They got separated basically, and the man was in the military, and the wife, and I think they had a child maybe or something like that, were like separated from him. He's worried about them while he's trying to fight Godzilla. It's like we don't care about that. I mean, we want to see Godzilla, right? You didn't see Godzilla till the very end of the first movie, so that's what was the first movie was, in my opinion, terrible. And then the second one was much better because you had way more monsters, you had way more fighting, but there was still a lot of human elements in it. I think this one did the best job of saying, hey, two monsters that are getting ready to fight each other, and the people, we don't really need them.
Which one was the there was like a Godzilla
It's Godzilla.
2000?
Oh, that's years ago. There was one back in the 90s.
Yeah, it was I remember there was one. I remember like I'm looking at the poster like
It's like a giant
it's like a
earth.
green. It was
Yeah,
green,
the green.
lettering.
Yeah, he was basically like a mutated gecko in that one or something like that. It was like some little small lizard that just kept growing.
I just remember them being in like a arena. They were hiding in like Madison Square Garden or something.
I remember that joint.
Hey man, that thing
Doritos did a campaign. That shit was
That's literally like 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah, this one came okay, so it came out in 98.
Yeah, that was the Godzilla that spun off the Godzilla's
cartoon. Right, because I remember Big Guy and Rusty used to come on right before that.
Right before it, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it was a female who nested in Madison Square Garden. And they realized that she wasn't harmful to humans. She was just trying to
But didn't the babies come out and velociraptor the crap out of people? Like, wasn't that part of the movie too?
Yeah,
The babies popped out there and they were like velociraptoring people. I was like, this is Jurassic Park now?
But after they blew up the stadium though, like she didn't get mad. She was just like, oh well. And then just left. And so it was interesting. Where did they kill it? I can't remember if they killed it or not.
I don't remember that movie. I just don't think it I don't think it was good.
Matthew Broderick.
I just remember like the advertisement, like it was coming down the street, like with the, like under the and I remember the cover too, which is because remember when they were marketing Cloverfield, everybody thought it was a Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
like that's what, because remember, like nobody knew, like the Clover, like I actually really I really like Cloverfield. That movie actually really did.
I never saw that movie.
Scared the shit out of me.
it was fucked up.
They're like, yeah, you're never gonna see this monster. You're just gonna see people's reactions to it, and what you can do in your own head is way worse than anything we can put on TV.
People were getting infected and blowing up. I was like, God damn, that scene. I always watch it. I was like, damn, she just blew apart.
It was no hope. Like that movie was just like, this is exactly how it would go down if it was, we got attacked by a big ass fucking monster. Like, it's no hope.
It was basically a kaiju.
Have you guys ever seen the Godzilla anime on Netflix?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
If you have it, it's a great watch. It's a 3-parter. It's more of like a movie. But I think it's ultimately fantastic. Like, it really depicts, like, if shit were to go down, we'd basically just like dip out on like a starship of sorts. In order to
let them have the
asses.
planet.
Yeah, let them have the planet. And
we'll
then
live in
like
space.
Yeah, and we circle Earth for like multi-generations. And then we come back, and then like Earth is like nothing but vegetation, and then like there's new forms of animals. It's really good. It's a good watch.
I gotta check it out.
It's definitely a good watch. It's Godzilla in a great way. Like there's Mecha Godzilla, there's different alien races, gods, and stuff like that. Like it's a lot at first, but then like once you kind of get into the story, it gets a lot better.
Okay.
Like a different evolved humans basically that were left on Earth evolved to match the environment, because basically they started living underground, and so like it's really cool.
Check it out. Other than that, I really didn't watch that much in the past week, but I did watch finally. And I forgot that I never watched it, but I saw it on HBO Max. And that's Justice League Dark Apocalypse, which was really fucking cool.
All the animated ones are fantastic.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
The animated ones should be the live action ones.
Yeah, that's where they shine, because Marvel doesn't shine in that area. Marvel's animated stuff is terrible. Their animated stuff is always bad. It's always aimed at the wrong demographic or something. Like when they did the Spider-Man thing, it was too childish, or like too kiddie. And so I was like, it was the Ultimate Spider-Man. It was just, it was like the Teen Titans show that used to be on Cartoon Network, but worse. and then
are you talking about Spider-Man, like Spider-Man, the Fantastic Spectacular Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man and stuff like that?
Ultimate Spider-Man is the one I was talking about specifically. But the Marvel does terrible with their animated stuff, but great with their movies, and DC is the exact opposite. They have the better voice actors in their animated stuff. Everything, like Nathan Fillion is Green Lantern in most of those.
Yeah.
Like you got
Kevin Conroy is Batman a couple.
I'm gonna say, yeah, you got to do Kevin Conroy as Batman as many times as you can.
Mark Hamill's Joker, some of them.
How old is Kevin Conroy?
He's got to be ancient.
Old.
He looks more and more like a skeleton every time I see him.
He was in some of the CW. He was in the CW Crisis.
Oh, he's only 65.
Yeah, he must be a heavy smoker or something. Like,
Yeah,
he's always looked old to me. Even when I used to watch the behind the scenes stuff and videos from a decade or two ago. I was like, dang, Batman he don't look nothing like he sounds.
We gotta like
he sounds like Bruce Wayne. He looks like the Crypt Keeper. Like, I don't understand.
He does, for real though. He looks very unhealthy.
Yeah, like he gotta be a heavy smoker or something. Because the voice makes him like, I imagine Bruce Wayne when I hear his voice. When I hear his voice, that's Bruce Wayne, right?
Yeah.
But then you see him and you're like, that's not Bruce Wayne. No way.
Yeah.
That's what we grew up with. Like, if you think of Joker, you think of Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Batman, you think of Kevin Conroy. Harley Quinn, you think of
Tara Strong.
Tara Strong. Well, she done so many voices. I didn't realize she did.
She was Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls.
She was Bubbles.
Oh,
She
really? Wow.
was she was Dill from Rugrats.
Yeah, she's been doing voices. Cree Summers is like that too. She was Susie in Rugrats, but Cree Summers been doing voices like that too.
Since After a Different World. Like she was Susie. She was what's her name from the black chick from Batman Beyond.
Every black chick in a cartoon from After Different World to like 2003 was played by Cree Summers. Like she was the only black woman in the game.
Yeah. She's a staple of black voices. Black women voices.
So yeah, so I watched that, and oddly enough, I was actually watching it with Nicole. She actually really liked it. So I was like, okay, cool. So I think we may have found something. I think the anime is a little out there for her, but I think
the westernized animation is a little bit more speed.
Yeah, so because it was, Dark Apocalypse had some drama in it, and so of course she was all about that. And it's just it was just you could not watch it being in a room, like so it managed to grab her. So I think I'm gonna start going through a bunch of like the animated DC stuff on HBO Max.
Definitely watch this is a comic, but definitely watch Dark Knight 1 and 2.
Okay.
Those are great. Dark Knight 1 and 2, because it's the comic it's a Frank Miller comic, just a digital adaptation, but it's what the Batman v Superman movie should have been.
Are you talking about the where he's old?
Yeah. That's the Frank Miller's Dark Knight, which is like it's a comic that came out in the 80s, late 80s, I think, or early 90s, one of those. And it was the version of Batman that you see today is based off of Frank Miller's.
Yeah.
Like every version of Batman now is like, okay, we're aiming him. He's younger, but we're aiming him at that Batman. That's the Batman we want him to be when he's old. Batman that's kind of like what basically who created, because before that Batman could have been anybody. Sometimes he was happy, sometimes he was sad. It wasn't until Frank Miller got a hold of him that he became just the saddest, angriest, most broodiest person on the planet. Like that was Frank Miller, because like they showed him as an old grizzled Batman. They're like, okay, now everybody else's take on that is like, okay, how do we aim him at that guy and show him becoming that angry, broody guy?
And then random, I've been watching a bunch of Moesha during lunch and stuff.
Bruh, do you remember the last episode? Miles got kidnapped?
No, I don't remember the last episode.
I don't remember that.
Bruh, Miles is still missing right now.
Hey, like fucking, was it Judy from Family Matters? She's still up there. We ain't never.
Judy's she's been grounded for 2-3 decades now. And Miles, that man grew up in.
Steve Urkel's still in space.
He what?
Steve Urkel's still in space.
No, Steve Urkel got back home. He got back home.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he got back home. That man had to get back to Laura. He didn't play no games,
bruh.
Yeah,
so,
but
Miles
is still missing, guys. I need somebody to find Miles. Somebody start that hashtag. Hashtag where's Miles?
Bruh.
So yeah, that's all I've been watching. But game wise, of course, I've been playing the Doom Eternal DLC number 2. I'm on the final boss. He has 5 forms. I'm on the last 2 forms now, which is fucking ridiculous. But I figured it out. I figured out the pattern. Well, he mixes it up, but I know what to look for. So I just gotta be patient and don't get it distracted by those astral projections of the fucking all of like the mega demons and shit.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. And then I've been itching to I've been getting back into Streets of Rage 4. I've just been like had a itch to play that again, so I've been going through that. I think I'm on the last like couple levels on that joint. So I'm trying to
Zombie
get.
Army 4.
What'd you say?
We played Zombie Army 4.
Oh yeah. We played Zombie Army 4.
Fun.
It's so you know zombie game. It's on Game Pass and it's also on
PS
PlayStation
Plus.
Plus.
Yep.
So it's fun. It's really fun. We're definitely gonna get back into that. Play a little bit of Outriders. And then I've been itching to get back into Power Rangers after I saw that new trailer where they're introducing Chun-Li
Ranger.
and Ryu. Yep. So so yeah, if you're still sleeping on Power Rangers like AJ, you gotta get on that shit.
He just doesn't like the control.
It's clunky, man. I'm gonna try it again. Especially when I get my new Series S.
Mortal Kombat.
Up here in the corner, I'll try it again. It's clunkier than Mortal Kombat.
It's better than Mortal Kombat.
It's better.
I can do combos on Power Rangers than I can do on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, combos are hard on 11. 10 is fine, but 11 is like tight.
11 is just so constricted.
So strict. I was like, this is fucking like Evo type games right here.
It's too polished.
Yeah.
It's way too polished. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead. So I played this game called It Takes Two.
How do you like it?
Dude, it was fan-fucking-tastic. I don't think I would have looked twice at it. Like, my niece wanted to play it. And I don't think I would have looked twice at it if I didn't play the demo. Like, we did the Friends Pass thing where you get to play like the whole first chapter. And it's like, it's a really like beefy chapter. Like, I think we did 2 boss battles. We found like a mini game that we played. We got weapons and shit. Like, it was good. I don't know. It's like how would I describe it? I guess it's kind of like modern day 2-player Mario, kinda, but less stressful. Like, you got unlimited lives. The only way you lose progress is if both of y'all die at the same time. And like all the co-op stuff is really well done, and the puzzles are really well thought out. It's like we had a lot of fun playing that joint. And then with the friend pass thing, which was fucking brilliant, only one person has to own the game, and y'all can play together for free. So I mean, technically, if you was only gonna play at one time with one person, like y'all could split it, or whatever, and like, but it's like $36. That's like easy.
So it's like Parsec in a sense.
In a sense, yeah, but like built right into the game, like, bruh, that was smart as shit for them to do.
You're gaming right there.
Yeah,
absolutely. It was. I might buy it. It was that good.
So do you have? So you don't have the game. Your niece has it.
No, we both downloaded. If you both download the friend pass, y'all can play the first chapter together. And then if I bought it and she kept her friend pass copy, we could play like the whole game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Shit.
So that I mean, if you looking for like a co-op joint, like that's the joint to play for sure. It was like, it surprised me. I did not expect it. I mean, my niece be having me play some wild shit. Like, I was expecting it to be some weird shit.
Yeah, you having to play State of Decay 2. I feel sorry for you, man. That game looks like garbage.
Outrageous.
It's not bad, right? Like, there's like some good like Civ builder kind of elements. Like, you make your little community and you gotta man it, but it's just it's clunky. The controls feel like really old at this point. I mean, they supposed to have a new one coming out in, like, I think she said July, and it's coming to Game Pass. Maybe I'll give it another shot, but I don't know. Then she was talking about fucking zombie rabbits and deer, and I'm like, dog, I don't know if I'm signing up for all that shit. Come on.
It's too late.
She said it's too. We'll see. I mean, she's definitely gonna play it. Maybe I'll if it's free, it's on Game Pass. I'll at least give it an install and see what they talking about. I started watching the Nevers on JK's recommendation. That shit was good. I definitely thought they were further in. I didn't realize it had just came out.
It just started like last week. I was like, oh shit, okay, perfect time.
Yeah, it was. That joint was fire. And I get the like the X-Men comparison because like there's, like this main person basically, and like she runs an orphanage of full of people like kids that people don't want because they got powers and shit.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that part. A lot of action in the first episode. A lot of good fights. Little slightly creepy. Them niggas with the face shit. That was a little.
That shit was. I was like, oh, okay.
Right, we getting straight to it.
Crossing over the creeps with shotguns. Okay.
Yeah.
But the interesting part was the last part that happened in that episode. That was an interesting part.
The last part. We can talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching more of the Nevers. I finished Reincarnated as a Slime second season. Not gonna spoil it for AJ, but there's definitely some.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Why are you spoiling for me? You're welcome. I'm happy that.
I finished it so quick. I just don't want to ruin it for you now that
Man. Somehow you beat me from my recommendation today, and
that's crazy.
I don't understand how you did this, but that's just how time works sometimes.
Maybe I should go back and watch the VOD and see, like, when we told AJ to watch it.
Sure. I dare everybody listening right now to go back and watch the VOD, watch it on YouTube, watch it on Instagram too, to make sure that everything's the same, and click the like button while you're there, and just see where I was telling everybody about this new anime that I was gonna find in the future on April 15th.
Word, definitely. Just out here, predicting predicting the future.
Look, I told y'all were gonna like it. I told y'all. I said I'm gonna like it on the 15th or the 14th or 15th, but you guys are gonna love it before that. I remember
nigga got a secret time machine and shit. Oh, here's shit facts. But
go back and buy some Bitcoin.
Nah, bruh, listen.
Look, it only works. My time powers only work on anime.
Damn.
When they start selling that, then I can really change.
Help us out. But yeah, the ending to Reincarnated as a Slime was good. I'm excited about the next season to see how they handle this. I've been watching My Hero. It's they had the little filler. I didn't really care about it. Now they're starting a little fight. I'm starting to care. I'm not super excited yet, but I want to see how this guy's gonna how this is gonna go.
His power is so overpowered that it's like I said, it's Eraserhead 2.0. It's to the point where like it doesn't matter unless you have One for All, right? Or some crazy superpower that we don't know about yet. You're pretty much it's a one shot, one kill. And it's such a subtle way of getting defeated that it doesn't make any sense. It's like you just like answer him. He's like, hey, and you huh? That's it. You're done.
That's it. You're done. It's a wrap for you.
It's such a over like I get why they're like the writer was like I can't even add him into the series until 2 seasons later when I finally figure out how to make him a superhero and not a supervillain.
Right. Absolutely. So we'll see. I'm excited to watch the fight and see how they put him to use. I started We Are the House Husband on Netflix, which is what are my friends? It's like more of a motion comic than like an anime because it's not all it's not all the way animated. There's a lot of jump cuts, and implied motion. But it's funny. It's
like
all the usual shenanigans. You said what?
It's like that first Black Panther show that came out on BET.
Yeah, like BET.
Like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
That was actually really good. Where they had
was it?
It's emotional.
As Storm, they had
T'Challa was Jimon, what's his name? Hansu or whatever his name is. Yeah. I can't pronounce the name.
Oh, Jaimon.
Yeah, Jaimon Hansu is Black Panther. It's T'Challa. Kerry Washington.
Kerry was Kerry Washington.
Yeah, Kerry Washington was
I
Shuri.
might have to check that out. Let me write it down.
It's got a bunch of celebrities playing characters, but it was on BET. It was like
Right.
but it's a motion comic too. Sorry, I derailed you.
Nah,
People should check that out though.
Yeah. All right, I might have to write that down. But yeah, it's cool. So the dude, he was like Yakuza, and I mean they don't go into why yet, but now he's a house husband, like that's his full time thing. Like he get up in the morning and cook and make his wife lunch and stuff like that, and she's a busy some kind of professional. I forgot already. But it's that's moments like he went out and bought her a Blu-ray set for her birthday of the show she liked, and she was like, "Oh, this is so sweet, I love it, but I already have this one." And this nigga was like stuck, and then he was like, "Oh well, I paid the price." He was about to like cut off his finger and shit. She was like, "Dog, relax." And so it's wacky fun like that. I'm liking it so far.
Taking those Yakuza tropes and spinning them on their head. Now she's the boss. Yes, that's dope.
I think that's it for me. Play the little Rocket League because it's easy to just like jump in there, play like a match, and then leave. And I've just been so fucking busy this week. I don't think I've gotten to anything else besides like It Takes Two. And he's tried to get me back on State of Decay. I was like, not today.
Yeah, get a stiff arm. Like, nah,
yeah, no, I love you, but no, we're not. I'm not gonna do that.
Did anybody try the new Apex season yet? Or
event? Yeah, I did. Not this week, but I did play it. There's
a whole bunch of fucking different events. I'm very confused, but yeah.
There's War Games going on right now.
So War Games is the overarching event, and then like each day they have a different like game mode. So like one day they had like Halo return shields. So like when you catch fire and like you step away for a little bit, your shields return. So like they had that game mode for one day, and then now it's like the circle super fast.
Yeah.
They had one where you could respawn like over and over again without like dying. Like you had respawn tokens. Sometimes I feel like this is like Respawn's way of just like testing a bunch of shit and like and then seeing kind of what the community says like yay or nay to. Because like they did the whole heat shields thing, which are like shields you can pop if you're in the circle. But they did it as a part of an overarching event, and then heat shields became an item you can find. Same for like the mobile respawn beacon. They did it for an event, and then it became an item you can find. I would absolutely love if they brought in automatic shield regen. Like I think that's a fantastic feature. And I think it implies more fights because less people will focus on like collecting a bunch of heals and meds and more engaging. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You might as well just play Halo.
You might as well play Titanfall.
Here you go. Nah. So
Titanfall.
He said nah.
Titanfall evangelist over here.
Listen,
Chris
and I refuse to give up on Titanfall 3. Even if Chris and I have to make Titanfall 3 our damn selves, it's gonna happen. It's gonna come into the.
Hey, we might have to do that.
These motherfuckers.
They're not working on it.
You said they're not.
That's all I'm saying is once Blerdimension blows up, first thing we're investing in is Titanfall 3. Okay, I'm just saying. We're gonna petition Respawn and be like, listen, we'll give you $3 million to make Titanfall 3. I don't care if it doesn't cost that much.
They gonna be like,
hey, contract it out. Like, hey, we'll make Titanfall 3 for y'all.
Right.
We'll get X amount of the profits.
No, they haven't really talked about Titanfall. I was just looking it up real quick. And it's like, no. There's like
Apex is their baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Apex. Apex was a joke, wasn't it?
No, Apex was their play. So like Titanfall 3 started, and then Fortnite blew up, and then EA was just like, don't know if Titanfall 3 is gonna pick it up, and then
we gotta have a battle royale.
We gotta have a battle royale, and then they're just like, and then so the Apex, like not the Apex team, but the Titanfall team, which turned into the Apex team, was just like, all right, cool, let's test a battle royale in Titanfall, and they did. They tested it with their game testers, and it was a big hit. And then that's how it kind of just blew up from there. And then they just randomly released it one day.
Yeah, they didn't. There was no advertisement for it.
Yeah.
That was their goal. Because EA had no faith, like basically no faith in it, because like Fortnite was already dominating at that point in time. And then so when they released it, EA was just like, all right, here's a little bit of money for you guys to like get some of the prominent streamers. So they basically like spent all of their money on like Shroud, Ninja, and then maybe a few others. And then like people started picking it up and playing it. And then they, as they did that, and as the market as their overall like Apex market grew, like overnight, like people were spending thousands of dollars on these skins and stuff like that. EA opened the floodgates, and Apex became one of their biggest investments.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same story for like Overwatch, right? Like they never think this shit's gonna work, so they're just like, here is a little bit of money, and the stuff they spend so much money on, Anthem, it doesn't work. So like, I'm always fascinated about that.
Well, Anthem, they just fucked up in general because they they were like, oh hey, we need to let's come out with this game. It's gonna be like a this type of game, blah blah blah. Cool.
Yeah, we don't have to revisit the graveyard.
Let's start production 3 months out.
We'll put a pin in that. So I came across this news. Y'all know I don't read comic books or whatever. But so I guess Venom is like a god now at the end of this.
Yes, he is.
Recent comic, and I'm like, this is Venom, Spider-Man, like pretty much all the superheroes and stuff that are famous and well known and like having a moment, printing money right now, or maybe a second moment, have been around for 30 plus years. And so I'm just wondering, like, okay, with all these gods and godlikes and like just more and more with every movie, every story arc, every comic book issue, like is it time for new characters? Is it time for new story? Like, who do y'all think needs to be like retired to make room for some fresh shit?
I don't know. Fresh shit in Marvel and DC.
It doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell. It doesn't sell.
Not
like,
easily.
They've tried fresh shit. They really have.
They do.
They've tried. Yeah, but it just doesn't sell. That's why they spend the money on the staples.
So what's the path forward? Like, if everybody becomes a god, what do you do?
This is what they always do. So they ramp all the way up until it's impossible to tell a story, and then they have some event, and that event is similar to like what happened in the actual movie Endgame, right? And Endgame wrecked the Marvel Universe, right? So if you look at the Marvel Universe now, it's not the same. If another Thanos showed up, it's over for the planet Earth, right?
Right.
So this is the refresh. So now they can add in any new characters they want to add in, right? And kind of like revamp it. So that's what they do.
They build a team up.
Right. And then every iteration, they try new characters, they just fail. Like Cyborg gets a comic every new iteration. It just fails because Cyborg is not an interesting character. Probably because they won't let it, like he doesn't get to be awesome. He doesn't get to be awesome. He gets to be kind of cool, but like he can't encroach on other characters. So it's like there's no more room for a person with his power set, right? If he's smarter than Batman, then Batman becomes useless, right? Because he's not superpowered, right? And if he can make anything, then what is Green Lantern here for, right? So he's just like part machine, part man. That's all he gets to be. But they do every time they get to do a new Cyborg run. They did a new Cyborg run with this most recent refresh of the DC universe, and it tanked. I mean, I bought like the first 2 issues of it, and it just did terrible. So they say it again.
It didn't do well at all. I remember.
No, they just blow the whole universe up, or they make some event happen that strips everybody of their powers, and they have to build themselves back up. And that's the best strategy, and they've been doing that for at least a decade and a half, maybe more, because what they realize is like people want to want to see these characters. Venom is top 15 Marvel characters in terms of popularity. He's separate from Spider-Man. He's separate from Spider-Man. He's from the same universe, But as a character, he's separate from Spider-Man. People like Venom specifically because of who Venom is.
Yeah.
Like not that like, oh man, he's a cool Spider-Man. He's not like the Joker, who's kind of got some fame, but if the Joker's not fighting Batman, we don't really care, right? Like if the Joker shows up in a Green Lantern comic, nobody's gonna be like, oh, that's great. Like that might be cool, but we're not like, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna sell a ton of Green Lantern comics. Or if he shows up in a Cyborg comic, he's probably not gonna sell a ton of Cyborg comics because Cyborg is not, you know what I'm saying? It's the Joker, Batman, that relationship. Spider-Man Venom is not like, you know, they're not symbiotic, pun intended and unintended, right? Like they don't need to be in the same comics. They can be separate completely. You saw Sony came out with a Venom movie, didn't even talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, didn't even talk about it.
It did horrible. It did horrible. It didn't do great in America. It did great in China, which is why they're still gonna hold on to that character. Yeah, because China loved Venom. I don't know why they loved him. They loved Venom. America didn't love Venom.
Damn theme
song. But Spidey asks, real quick, did you enjoy those 2 issues you got? The Marvel.
Yeah, I was getting ready to answer that, but I was talking. I was like, I can't type it up. But yeah, I'll answer it now. No, I didn't enjoy the story, and the art was bad. And I think it's because, like I said, there's nowhere for him to go. So I mean, I have them around here, but I don't throw comics away. I just got them stacked. I got like 6 or 7 long boxes around here, just with comics that I'm probably never gonna read again.
Same.
But he was just, it was weird because like they what villain can they use? The villains are all being used somewhere else. You can't use a new villain because that brings nothing to the comic, right? A new villain only works if you introduce them in one of the main comics, like a Batman or a Superman, and people like them. And then those villains can become more like they just introduced like what's his name, Ghost Hunter or something like that, and I forget the guy's name, but some new Batman villain who's like a vigilante. He's like if Batman killed villains, right? Wish they make a guy like that.
Did that before?
Yeah, Azrael or whatever his name was.
Azrael, yeah.
But they're doing it again, and they give him a cool design. He's drawn by Jorge. What's his name? I can't remember his last name, but the guy who's drawing Batman and Superman right now. It's really well designed. It's just it's the same archetype, like you said. They've done it before, but what villain could they put in the Cyborg comic? And then they don't put their best artists on it. So not their best writers, not their best artists, not their best villains. So it's not a compelling story because I think the story was about Cyborg becoming actually more like nano cyborg than he was, because you know Cyborg's been this huge clunky robot for years, and they're using nanotech in other parts of the DC universe, but this guy is still this huge clunky. So they kind of made it so that now he literally can just have human skin because he has nanotech running through him, and he should be able to just turn his body into tech when he needs it to, and then turn it back into make it look normal whenever he wants. So he should never have to have that issue of looking like a monster anymore because the tech is so advanced now.
So advanced.
Yeah, so they did that, and I don't know if they retconned that in another issue because, like I said, I think I bought 2 issues. I try to support all the Black heroes when they come out, but if the story's bad, I'm not gonna just keep buying
Throw money at it. Yep.
Yeah, because like my one little $3.99 is not gonna save.
It's not gonna save
Cyborg storyline. So
I got you.
I thought they were gonna.
Yeah. So the issue with American comics is that. Say it again.
Okay. No, I thought they were gonna turn into like the next what's the name who was in charge of the father boxes on Apocalypse?
All Father. No, you're talking about in charge of the father boxes or the mother boxes.
The one who sat in the chair that in Dark Apocalypse, Batman took over his place.
Oh, you're talking about the guy in the chair. I forget his name too. Batman was actually him in the comics for a little bit.
Yeah.
During the Dark Side Wars. But my point being that's just the way comics. That's been the pattern for comics for at least 2 decades. At least as long as I've been reading them. You know, like I read them as a kid, but when I became an adult with my own money, I could finally buy them for myself. Right. So. Then I started reading them again, but it's been that way. It's been that way for that long that it's like, hey, let's restart the universe, and then they rebrand it. That's what the New 52 was like not 2 decades, two restarts ago. They had the New 52, which did not work. So they just restarted again and restarted. Like that's how they work, because they really can only sell popularity. They can't actually tell stories, which is why I think manga does better, because most Americans. Yeah, because it's technically tied to a company, but it's not tied to a universe. So what happens in Naruto doesn't happen in One Piece. Right? So whoever's publishing both of those, you can tell your One Piece story and it won't affect Naruto's story. So then you can basically have these, like, that creator control allows for more interesting books. So if you're going to read comics and you want like interesting characters, you have to read the creator-owned books, smaller publishers. They do the more interesting stuff. Image used to be that way. They're getting larger, but like they started out small, right? Because they were all the Marvel guys went to they made their own comic book company, right? That's where Image comes from.
Yep.
But these smaller companies, where did Ninja Turtles start out? They started out in some small publisher or whatever.
I forgot. I remember they showed when they did the little multiverse crossover.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to the origins, and I forgot the name of the comic book company. Though.
But yeah, so and the thing is, you'll be surprised how many things you watch on Netflix or on Amazon that's based on a comic book, right? But it's based on material that you haven't seen because it's not DC or Marvel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what there's no fixing DC and Marvel. But the good news is that they're not the only way to get a comic book out, and that's not the only way these stories are getting told to the overall population. You just got to accept superhero comics for what they are. Like that's what they're gonna be.
So do you think that real quick before we like go to the next thing, do you think that in our lifetime there could be like the rise of like a new super popular like superhero franchise? Like, is there?
I think so.
Is there room for that?
I think that it's a possibility. They'll continue to throw things against the wall. I mean, take a look at Invincible, right? Like Invincible had a time when it's first releasing, and I mean, AJ definitely let me know if you agree with this or disagree. It came out of nowhere and it became very popular in like the comic book stores and the comic book stream. Just as popular as Iron Man, Superman, or any of that. It became Image's Superman basically. And and now with the show out, like the show's getting fantastic reviews. People are now reading the comic over and over again. And so it's hitting mainstream. I wouldn't honestly be surprised if Amazon goes, ooh, maybe live action movie? Like I would not be surprised.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Imagine a live.
They just want
scene in the first episode.
First of all, you can't get no more gruesome than the live action's got to be less gruesome. I can't, because blood and bones and viscera don't actually move like that. So when they apply real world physics, we might get a more toned down version of some of
that's
the
basically
deaths.
The Boys. The Boys is just
like honestly, like
and that's
The Boys
a comic
live
as well.
action, exactly, and that's a comic as well. And
they did a Homelander versus Omni-Man crossover, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, they did a Homelander versus Omni-Man crossover.
Could you imagine this fight? Could you like Omni-Man would fucking rip Homelander a new one, but I think it would still be fantastic to. But I mean, to answer your question, like point blank, Swab, yes, I think it's possible. I think we will get a new hero eventually, because like
Disney's gonna run Marvel to the ground.
And that's honestly one of the things that does terrify me. Disney only cares about what can make Disney extra money. And so like I don't think there'll be a day where we don't have Marvel comics, because Disney knows Marvel's movies are profitable. And as long as Marvel's movies are profitable, comics where they get majority of the inspiration or majority of the fans will still be profitable, even if it isn't profitable.
It's another stream of income.
It's another stream of income. Yeah,
it's like toys for for movies back in the day, right? You make a comic movie because movies are expensive, comics are cheap. So basically you tell as much as you can, get as much interest in the characters you want, and then just as much paraphernalia, clothing, comic books just helps push the brand farther. So they're not going to get rid of comics as long as people are reading them, and people are always going to read them if they're interested in the characters, because they're just like, hey, I'm going to visit that world again, and even if it is me turning pages instead of watching it on the screen, because you just can't get enough content. You can't. It's impossible.
Yeah, agreed. But I also like to believe with that statement, I don't think it's coming from Marvel or DC.
Yes, agreed. No new stuff. I don't think they're able to make the new stuff. I think that there's more room now for everybody. So you can like Marvel and DC, and like I said, The Boys. The Boys has nothing to do with either of those universes, but people watch The Boys, they enjoy The Boys, and then they go watch a DC and a Marvel movie. It's not the scarcity thing. A lot of times is contrived, right? Like they say it's scarcity, but it's not really scarcity. So I think you're gonna have that. It's like, oh, I'll just visit every superhero universe I want, or every universe, because superheroes is just science fiction. So people try to make it seem like it's its own genre, but it's science fiction. It's just told a certain way. So that
word,
you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get to have other science fiction heroes who come to the forefront.
Look, man, let's be real, bro. They just come out with a Status Shock movie. That's all.
I mean,
they want to. They want to so bad. I think, but I also think they're wary of making a bad Static Shock movie, because that's worse than not making one at all.
Yeah,
because black people are not kind. We will roast them.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
This is very true. We will roast the hell out of them. Like, so you're gonna make a Flash movie, you're gonna make a Justice League movie, and then you're gonna give us this shit.
They talked about it at that DC digital event. They talked about it. They talked to the remaining. I mean, obviously Dwayne McDuffie has passed away, but the other people were there, and then they talked to Phil Lamar, who did the voice of Static Shock, and they were talking about how they got plans for Static, and I was like, of course they do. And I felt like he would have showed up in Black Lightning had it been more popular.
I think so too.
But because Black Lightning wasn't that popular, I think they're like, okay, let's not waste Static on episode of Black Lightning, season of Black Lightning.
Painkiller.
Say what?
Painkiller.
Oh yeah, so people must love that nigga. He got a spinoff.
They did an episode.
He got a fucking spinoff.
Yeah, they did the episode. This last episode was all about Painkiller. Dog, that shit is basically the substitute for Arrow. It's the substitute for Arrow.
Arrow was probably the best thing they've ever done, and then after that, it's been the first.
I think
the first season of Arrow was good. First half season, maybe. Or the first season Arrow, in my opinion, was the best stuff they did. And then the moment they got powers, it was so hard to make a good story. I feel like the Flash was just too soft. Don't even get me started on Legends of Tomorrow or whatever they're called. Don't even get me started on that. But
I was about to say them too.
Lord. Yeah. All right. Well, let's put a pin in that. Oh dang. So I think we are probably all aware that Black Clover, the anime is ending, and I don't like it was just getting good, but I feel like I've definitely read some good points about like basically it not being original, but like being good at at the stuff that it does, and like having the story instead of stretched out when there's really not that much like story and so having it condensed into like a movie serves it much better than having like another story arc over like a season or 2 seasons or however long. And so then I was curious, like how do y'all feel about that? Would you want to see more movies? Like if it was, would you want to see more I guess animes that have tropes but are doing them I guess well, if it was condensed into like a movie or like a 3-part, movie versus like 2 or 3 seasons of something? Would you want some shit like this to happen to like one of your faves, like so you can get all the story, get all the content you can right now, or like I don't know. How do y'all feel about that?
I'd rather they spread it out.
Depends on the story for me.
Yeah.
Depends on which show we're talking about. Because some of them didn't have much to begin with. Like in the middle, there really are just like Dragon Ball Z is really just like punch people in the face. Like remember Dragon Ball Z, and then remember what happened with Dragon Ball Z Kai, right? Like this is way better. Dragon Ball Z Kai was way better. It's the same story, same like they did a few little changes, tweaks here and there, but the story didn't change much at all. It's my background. Like my background.
Is it? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe like something passing by or something.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's a plane. But
They got planes in Tallahassee?
Bruh.
Yes,
I got words, but I'm not gonna say them on the podcast. I don't want to get us demonetized before we get monetized.
You better say it with your chest,
Bruh. All right. Yeah. I think I feel the same way. Like,
yeah, Dragon Ball Kai is better, right? 50 some odd episodes compared to 200. Same story. Like if you can condense a story, condense it, because animes are really drawn out because they're being like kind of like scheduled against the manga, right?
Yeah.
And if they catch up to the manga, which they inevitably will, because animation speeds everything up, right? All those cool scenes that you take a minute to flip through, right, happen in instant on the screen. So they're really just stretching those things out so that they can make sure that the manga keeps going. And I think the real issue is that you have anime while manga is going on, but some manga goes on for decades, like Naruto, like Dragon Ball Z. So you can't really not make the anime unless you just want to give up on making the anime until it's over, and then nobody even cares about it anymore. So,
right?
But yeah, you shrink my stories. What's the one? Trigun. Give me a Trigun movie. I like Trigun, but
Trigun live action would be great.
Yeah, and I'd watch it.
Yeah, Trigun movie. Give me a Trigun movie. You can give me a ton of those older Outlaw Star. It was 26 episodes anyway. 26 episodes. You can really shorten that and give me some sweet. There's a couple of
Rurouni Kenshin. I'd rather Samurai X. Yeah,
they just stopped. They just stopped showing Rurouni Kenshin actually went on for 100 some odd episodes, but they stopped showing them in America because they sucked compared to the first season. Like the Shishio arc was like the peak of Rurouni Kenshin, and then they just went downhill after the Shishio arc. So they were like, Americans don't need to see this. They put the blinds up. Y'all don't need it.
Oh no! All right. I don't know if y'all read this joint, but so EA had a patent filing for an adaptive difficulty system, which is like it's not a new thing. They had this patent for a minute, like since 2016 or something. They wanted to make sure they don't lose it. So this is interesting to me because like I like to play shit on story mode. Like I ain't got the time or the energy to be trying to do some hard shit just because it's hard. And I think I eventually could do it. And like for some games, like a little challenge is still fun. But like I want to choose. Don't just throw on the AI and tell me like I got to stay on here for 20 hours or just not play. I don't know. What
I think they designed it so that won't happen to you. Like they know your breaking point. I think that's the point of it. Is that they're like, oh shoot, this person's getting. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out like which games, which games did they use it on?
Obviously not the sports games. They said they don't use it on the sports games. They
probably don't use it in no online games.
Or vehement.
They hardly have any single player games. Because even the single player games like even like Fallen Order, right? I mean that has like set difficulty mode, so you can choose.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think they're actively using it yet. I think that's their goal.
Yeah, it's tech that they own that they say they're not using yet. But like one of the things, I mean, I get your point. Like that, they definitely don't want you to like be frustrated. But like they they want to keep you in the game as long as they can up to that point. And it's like I just want to choose. That's it.
But it's adaptive though. So if they see you quitting every time it gets too hard, they gonna let you get a little farther next time. Like you're like, whoa, that felt good this time. Like, man, I was so quick and fast, and I and you don't know that the whole time the game is just like telling you lies, like telling you
straight
lies,
up.
just like, yeah, you so strong, you so handsome,
make you feel good.
The truth is, the game's taking it easy on you.
Facts.
The only game I can remember that that really does as well is I don't know if it's all of the Devil May Cries, but most of them. I forget which one was the one that was like kind of one of the key features is that the game doesn't have difficulty modes. It just has it scales to how well you're doing in the game.
Based on your grades.
Yeah, based on your grades and just whatever other metric they use to kind of adjust the difficulty for the enemies.
Sounds like I'm in school and shit. You got an S. Oh, we're gonna up that shit a little bit.
Yep.
But does that take something from the games for you? Like, are you? Is difficulty part of gaming?
Yeah, because you have so it's almost like that challenge aspect of it. So like with anything that's challenging, whether it be gaming, like when you start doing your first when you start drawing your first picture, AJ, when you first started out, you had some challenges, right? So to speak.
Oh, absolutely. I still have challenges. I'm not done. I haven't mastered drawing.
But when you overcame a few of those challenges, you felt that sense of accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
It's the same
thing. A couple times.
It's the same thing with gaming. Like if you have if you're faced with a challenge like Outriders, like had Crescent tell you when I was streaming fighting that one boss, or even with Doom, with Crescent doing Doom, like I don't know if he has on the hardest difficulty, but whatever difficulty it is, feels like it's the hardest one because that motherfucker be going through it. I'll be like, God damn, this shit is on normal. I was like, oh hell no. I was like, no.
That's a game I would have quit. Just like fucking Ghost Runner.
And so like when you get past those parts, it's as simple because like, man, I finally fucking did it, man. I feel great. Yeah. And it keeps you playing. You want to keep playing. You're like, shit, okay.
The dopamine release
part. Yeah. I get to the next part.
You get a dopamine hit from that, from winning.
So that's the right. And so that's the aesthetic of games.
So that's where their algorithm has to find that sweet spot of how can you test this person enough to give them the sense of accomplishment that we're manufacturing, which to me makes it feel like, now that I know that that's the technology they have, I'm never going to trust the game they have again. I'm never going to think I'm good at any EA games. I'm like, you just lying to me, EA. You just telling me.
That's the whole point. They be like
telling me what I want to hear.
They be like, because like in Dune, they like, well, if it gets too hard, you can lower the difficulty. In your head, you like, fuck that. I'm passing this part.
Yeah.
So like,
I am talking to me like that. Like, who you think I am?
Like, my mama didn't raise no bitch. Let's go. Let's get this done. Let's go.
I'll quit before I go on the easy mode. I'll quit.
Exactly. I quit before I go down one. Even with Outrunners, like I was like, man, this shit hard. I'm like on World Tier 12. I'm like, man, this shit hard. Man, fuck it. I ain't going down. Change some shit up. Come back in. I got the strategy. Let's go. That's all it is. That's what it dies down to. Really. So
yeah. It's funny as you brought up easy mode. I don't know if y'all saw, but there's been some controversy in the Twitch streaming world where people have been basically complaining that some of the streamers are playing on like easy mode or shit like that.
Like, dog, don't you have a whole life to tend to? You worried about somebody playing on easy? What the fuck?
Yep.
I kind of get that.
But no,
you're watching these people like they're experts almost.
Well, it depends. I mean,
No.
it depends what your stream is. If you're just a variety
Yeah.
streamer and you just, play whatever is, popular at the moment,
Nothing wrong with that.
then
Mhm.
yeah, then it just really depends. But it's masked as it's mass sexism, it's really aimed at
Oh, right.
women. Like, oh,
Yeah,
you play games, you must not be good, that whole like,
oh,
it's just,
Understand.
you still got a lot of immature motherfuckers that are out here that are still doing this. So all of that is just underneath that is just
layered
straight up
into it.
sexism. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's all it
makes
is.
sense.
But
And
Nah,
it's
that's what
so
it is.
funny too, like when I see, because I watch a lot of female streams sometimes. I actually follow one. She's I talked to her before, a little blasty blast. She's actually ex-military, and she plays games. Because she likes games, but she's good. Like she's really good. I'm like, so what? In my head, I'm like, why do people think that like girls are less or not as good as guys or something?
Sexism and marketing.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit more personal than just sexism. I think that video games have been a bastion for a certain type of people for a very long time, and they might feel a little bit like, I don't know. I think it's a little more personal than
Gatekeeping.
just. I don't even think it's gatekeeping. I think it's a little more personal. I think it's just like seeing, like, especially because a lot of these women are attractive that do this, right?
Yeah.
And so there's probably like, you like you love something so much you hate it almost. Like
You sick?
you know what I'm saying? Like when you're a
Oh,
nerd
like,
and you just been getting like these women giving you the stiff arm your entire life, and then you see them coming up into your arena and you're like, there's no
how
place
dare you?
safe for
You're
me
not
now
even
as a
good.
nerd, right?
You're not even good.
Yeah,
You play
right.
bro. You're not a real
I think
gamer.
it's more personal. I think that they're hurt.
Insecurity.
Yeah, insecurity, right? That's what I think it is. I think it's insecurity,
Oh,
and it
absolutely.
just like
It's like
pours
getting
out.
beat. It's like getting beat in a fight by a girl, basically.
But if she been training her whole life, I'm gonna accept that. But I'm gonna be like, no, she's a ninja. Of course she beat me. Like y'all give me look. If Chris Cyborg came out here and wanted to beat anybody in this podcast right now, we just gotta take an L. And if anybody want to talk trash, they can fight her next.
I would take that L gladly.
If you have a name,
I'll be glad to get beat up.
cyborg, like
Bruh,
it just shouldn't be
like, come on, no.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not taking the L. We gotta listen. We can talk this out like adults.
No, her name is Cyborg. You think she talks to humans?
Listen, hey, I'll talk to computers, nigga. We can work it out.
First off, if we're sparring, then I'm going all out. I know she's trained more than me, but I'm going all out. It's a fight.
It don't matter. You can go all out. She can fight for 6 days. Like she's an MMA fighter. Those people can fight without water and air and oxygen.
Right. And I'm saying, like, if I had the same training and I got on par with her, it'd be a different story. But
what I'm saying is that she's one of the best in her place to do it. Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these, like I don't know. I just feel like it's insecurity, like Chris is saying.
That definitely comes from a insecure place, because like you said, like our whole lives, like playing video games wasn't cool, and now it's cool. And then like, everybody is, jumping into it and it's like, hey, this is my arena. Get off.
Get off. Especially like I remember when who was I playing against? When we were playing COD and Trish one of the DCGG folks, Trish, she beats everybody down. She pistol whips everybody with her melee weapon in COD. And like, he's like, how the fuck does she? And like, everybody's like, dog, if you get pistol whipped, you know who it was. I was like, you know what? Whatever. Crazy. But no, Spider. Right. I think that's the name. Well, that's another streamer I was talking about. But the one I was talking about, the one who I follow, no, that's her. Her Twitch name is Lil Blasty Blast. She's actually really good in COD and Apex and stuff. So But anyway, go ahead. My
Yeah,
bad.
we that's all right. We got a little bit off topic. It's all good though. So I guess for me, I don't know. Like I think we're all pretty much settled in knowing that it's highly unlikely that we're getting any like next gen blockbusters this year. Halo might be coming. I'm cautiously optimistic. Like I'm not gonna hold my breath because 343 will let me suffocate. But I'm hopeful, right?
They'll
I'm
come
hopeful.
and just
Yeah,
walk
no,
right,
they'll be like,
That's
oh,
walk
hold
right
his
over
nose
you.
in his
too.
mouth.
they'll be like, oh damn,
No.
nigga died. I'm
It's
Like,
oh
like,
wow,
damn.
that's
Close your nose
sad.
to the mouth.
he's like, damn, he died. Well, that's one.
So
That's one
sad.
pocket we can't get no more. We got 10,000 others.
Exactly. So I don't know. I don't know who like I've been kind of trying to play more games on Game Pass, stuff that I may have missed. But like I got a backlog like a mile long that I've barely touched. I have y'all like been out here finishing these. I mean, I know JK and Creston have definitely finished a couple joints. Um,
I'm dead. Got a
Let me
backlog too, though,
let me
bro.
see if
I
um
don't traditionally
you out
finish
here finishing
games.
games, AJ? You said finish games.
Traditionally, I leave games unfinished. It's kind of a Schrodinger's cat thing going. If I finish the
Mhm.
game, then it's over. As long as the
Dude,
game
this cat, I'm
hey, but
good.
part
you
is there,
you
it's
finished
always
you finished what's the
infinite.
name?
I did finish Cyberpunk
Yeah.
because there was just no other alternative to that game. It's like, I needed to get it off my system, so I was like, all right, let me go ahead and finish this story. And I invested too many hours to not finish that game
Right.
because that's where it was headed. But no, I don't. I usually play multiplayer games, so there's no finishing a multiplayer game.
Got you.
For me, I think I mean I've finished Ghost this year, Ninja Gaiden 2,
I'm almost finished with Ghost.
what else? I'm about to finish Doom Eternal, about to finish Ruiner,
These are
Dishonored
experts.
2. Dishonored 2, I'm going through the new game plus and then playing with the second character, so um doing that. So the next big games for me is definitely Resident Evil 8, Returnal,
Returnal is definitely one for me too.
um Ratchet, whatever about like
Bright
I
Memory
know it.
coming out.
What'd you say?
Bright Memory.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Bright Memory. I don't know, we haven't heard anything recent about that. But I was playing through Cyber Shadow, but that shit is just too punishing. Like it's like you get to a point like you get to those like you step on the wrong thing, you're dead, and you gotta start like 5 minutes behind. Like nah, I couldn't do it anymore.
That's how I feel with Katana Zero, actually.
Kat- mm, I don't know. Katana Zero is way more forgiving in that sense. I say stick it out with that. That game is fun, uh, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, so far, like my game of the year, hard to say. I mean, because I haven't really played anything like current. Like there hasn't really been that, like you said, like that blockbuster hit just yet. Like there's been,
Yeah.
Outriders, but
Well,
like that's just kind of like, junk food in a way. It's not
True.
Hey,
really.
don't get on
Yeah,
my
that
game like
was.
that.
So I mean, yeah, that was my next like. I know y'all been playing lots of games. 2021 is flying by. First quarter is over. Even if it can't be game of the year for 2021, like have any of them struck you as like a joint that could have been game of the year when it came out, or is it just kind of like this is cool, but I'm waiting for the next big thing.
Definitely Ghosts, like that's
Oh yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is like definitely like uh, definitely like I think should have won like game of the year last year. I mean I like The Last of Us, but it's just like that story is just so fucking bleak, like Ghost of Tsushima is like you actually, you know what I'm saying, like you actually
Japanese
feel.
history. You actually
Yeah,
learn about Japanese
it's a
history.
it's a world it's a beautiful world. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on, because the Mongols are,
Right.
they just massacre people, but like the world that you're in is beautiful. Like you want to be in that world, even though
Yeah.
you're getting invaded. But
Real quick. Appreciate that follow, D Smash.
thanks for the
Oh,
follow.
that's for the follow.
But one of my favorite games this year is Ninja Gaiden 2. I really like that. That's an old ass game. That came out fucking 2008.
Did you see the
Um,
Ultimate Collection coming out in June?
Absolutely. And that's like perfect timing. I was like, oh man, like because I never really got into Ninja Gaiden like that back in the day, and so it was on Game Pass, and I was like, let me try this out, and I got hooked, and I even went out and bought the physical, like because they took it off of Game Pass, so I was like, oh fuck, yeah, so I bought the physical. It was like $10 at the um local game shop.
Buy the Ultimate Edition. It looked fun.
Yeah,
It
so
looked very fun.
I mean, it's an old. Don't get me wrong, it's an old ass game in terms of like design and stuff, but like just the simplicity of it, of like, all right, like you're a ninja, go fuck shit up, like that
That's it.
Literally, that's what he did. Like
yeah,
like you would slice people's arms off, heads off, body parts,
like you feel
and
like
they
a
just like,
badass.
whoa.
You feel
Damn.
like a fucking badass, and I just love that, like because everything now, like everything in that vein is, the people that made that are making Neo 1 and 2. That's their franchise. So
Mhm.
I would love to get into, like when I look at Neo, I'm like, man, that should look cool, but I just know that shit's hard as fuck. So it's like, like don't get me wrong, I love a challenge, but like that shit is just like a little too punishing for me.
That ninja
Yeah.
game, the ninja in Ninja Gaiden is from Dead or Alive. That's Habusia.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive.
That's why he loved Familiar.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And if you want a difficult game, get a PlayStation 2 and play Shinobi. I've been telling you all about Shinobi. That is the hardest game I have ever played in my life. It was fun because I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound fun. But like it was at one point when G4 was still a thing, Shinobi was like top 2 of the hardest games of all time.
Yeah,
Shinobi.
Yeah, it was
great.
It was so hard because like you got a sword, it's you got a magic sword, it gives you power, but it also takes your life. And the only way to stop it from taking your life is to kill to kill more people. But there's a limited amount of monsters on the game, right? So you have to cut through them. But if you don't do it like economically, like you don't do it the right way, you can still die from your sword draining you to death. So it's like you can't kill all of the minions directly because you need them to power up the sword to hit the big bosses. So it's like a weird like time crunch mixed with like beating the game a certain way. Because if you end up killing all the little guys before you hit the big boss, you can't really do any damage to them because the sword gets powered up by the more people it kills.
That's
but
right.
if you don't feed it by killing people, it takes your life. And that's pretty much the main mechanic for the game. And the bosses just get harder and harder. And so do the smaller people you have to kill. They get harder and harder. They get better at defending and whatever as the game goes on. It's really, really hard. But it's also a ninja game where you get to cut people in half and has these cool cutscenes. If you do the combos right, like you clear all of the bad guys in one area without breaking your combo, it does like one of those old time Japanese cutscenes where you like sheath the sword and then everything dies behind you. This one of those cool things. So, I mean, I don't know if it's on PlayStation, whatever their thing is, but if y'all can find that game, it's fun and super challenging.
Wasn't there Metal Gear Rising or Raiden where you played as Raiden?
Mm-hmm.
And you could cut people up and like steal their body parts and heal yourself.
That's probably one of the best action games ever.
That shit, I saw a game. I remember when it was coming out and they showed a scene of him on a train and he just sliced somebody up like 10 ways to Sunday and took all his body parts and revived and healed himself. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that game is so fucking. That's a game that probably would never get a sequel, but like,
But it was worth it.
I remember the first time I saw that shit. I was like, somebody gets me.
Bruh. All right.
You don't really
Look
like
at that
the
psychotic
metal gear, though,
smile.
right?
Somebody kiss me, yes.
Terrible. So a couple months back, we talked about that fucking jerk, Ajit Pai leaving the FCC, and what we hoped it would mean for the internet moving
Fuck him.
forward. Bruh, with something hard and sandpaper. The current administration
I
has
hope
yet to
his
appoint
internet never works.
ever like a dog. Somebody got to go in there and just like
I hope this motherfucker
cut the
gets
main line.
transported back to the Stone Age and a T-Rex eats his ass in half.
Okay,
Actually, just the bottom half. Like, just so his legs are taken out, motherfucker can still kind of like live and suffer for a little while. Just that.
I probably should go where he just doesn't have internet. That'd be fine.
Nah, T-Rex
So-
eat the bottom half of his body. He's an asshole.
That's what gotta happen.
If anyone deserves to have half their body eaten, it's that motherfucker.
God damn.
Him and
alright.
Trump.
They haven't appointed anybody new yet to like
And that Tommy
break the-
bitch.
break the FCC tie. You know, like it's 2-2 right now. We need somebody else in there, and that could break the tie. Hopefully, usher in some better legislation. Shit like roll back BS, like net neutrality. But that, I mean, so that's kind of tangential to my point though. Like the FCC is wanting people to download this app. They talking about they want to see, you know, who got bad internet, whatever. Put together a plan for bridging the digital divide. And so I don't know. Like, are y'all gonna be taking this app to your folks' house? Like, AJ, you about to go 45 minutes up the street and, you know, download this shit and like let the FCC your folks ain't got good internet. Like, y'all about to go to the boonies and
Look, no,
He doesn't have to go to the boonies. He can just stay home.
First
Damn.
of all, I have fantastic internet. I got gigabit internet, so I am fine where I am. My parents are suffering, and therefore my visits to them are infrequent because of it.
Y'all come over here.
They had better internet. I'd be over
Side
there
note.
more often.
Spidey's comment is fantastic. He puts all of our comments in one, and it makes so much
Oh,
sense.
the
robocalls
is fantastic.
Is fantastic.
And I agree. The FCC does need to pay people to do this market research. Nielsen does. They give you $1. They give you a nice crispy bill when you. It's the crispiest dollar bill I've ever received was when Nielsen sent that package to like, hey, rate the shows you've been watching on the Nielsen report or whatever. They send you a nice crispy dollar.
Actually,
I mean, that's a good point.
When they came to film, like, because you know, one of the grad students, he actually worked for them for a little bit, and he came to film. He recommended me for the program. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna fit well.
You know
here.
what they do? But yeah, they should be paying people for the market research. Secondly, I think they know where the bad internet is. I don't think they don't need us to give them our information. They know where it is because Comcast knows. Then just ask Comcast, where are you not servicing like people? Where are you giving people 25 megabits a second? Just answer that question. Like
that
these
should be a criminal offense.
It should be. It's like depriving people of electricity.
Yeah.
Like
for real.
I still can't get over the fact we pay for electricity. I really can't. Like I just can't get over that shit.
Hey, we don't just pay for it. We're getting gouged.
Facts.
Electricity, water. Anyway,
yes, we pay for fucking water. That's a completely different tangent. But water, the things we need to live, to live, we pay for that shit.
We're paying to live.
We are paying to live.
It's not even high quality water at that.
It's not even high quality water at that.
Like if you go to, there's a site I go to and I check there's like 9 contaminants that somehow get into the water that they don't care about. I'm like, okay.
Look, so as long as there's just a lower threshold, they don't actually care about like as long as the stuff won't kill you. It's a lot. You'd be surprised at what you drink, right?
Facts.
So,
like it should kill you though.
Oh, it just kills you over time. It's how they wean out the populace.
Right.
Well, I mean, everybody's
So-
dying anyway. So.
gotta die of something. Yeah.
Shit that never fails.
I don't
to
understand why. I don't know. Like, what is this supposed to be? Like, is this supposed to be like I don't know, like get people involved and then there'll be like, more interest. I just don't get it.
What's the end game?
Yeah. But Harry, I'm just confused about the whole thing. Like, it just like where it's at. Everybody knows where the people who are fucking living there know where it's at. Like, I don't know.
Comcast knows. That's the thing that I don't understand. Why are you asking me? Don't ask me to do the work that you can literally just ask Comcast for that information. And if Comcast won't give it to you, y'all need to start doing your actual job and making it fair so that other people can get in there. It's like if Comcast knows.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm just reiterating that like where you can get this information from. Don't bother me with that stuff. I already pay you. Like my taxes are paying for all this mess.
Yeah, no bullshit.
I'm paying for it already. Like Comcast is over here getting cuts and all kinds of
water
stuff.
and energy should come out of your taxes. That should make sense. That I understand taxes for. I have no fucking idea what else I pay for.
But they got it in the beginning of their name. It means federal. We pay for that mess. Like that comes straight out. They ripped that from us before we even get to see a dollar. So it's like I don't want to hear like the whole hey, download this app, make it easy for us. No. Do your job for the first time since I've known about you. Do your job and find out from Comcast.
Facts.
Do your job.
And I think that's what it boils down to real fast, and then we can go on to topic of the week. Like congressmen and like just government officials in general have such limited time in office. So I think it comes down to the point where like if it's not something they can get a quick win on during their time, they're not going to put a lot of effort into it. And if it's something they can get a quick win of, they'll knock it out real fast. If it's something their overall body cares about, so people who elect them care about, of course they'll look like they're fighting for it by producing bullshit apps or something like that. Or doing like bullshit rallies or getting, signatures and stuff. As long as it looks like they're working, they can possibly get, reelected to continue the job that they were just working on. And that's all what it boils down to. They don't have to do their jobs. They just have to look like they're doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Because, ultimately the country runs itself. Like it runs itself based off of the government employees who run the country. Like the overall arching officials, they don't do shit. They sit in rooms, they have conversations, and sometimes those conversations lead to policies, and sometimes those policies are worked by the government employees who actually make those policies a reality. And so ultimately, that's the system we're stuck with. So, do I think they're the ones to handle internet? I mean, they have to be because they're our government, and it does need regulation. As we can see, Verizon, Comcast, AT&T, all corrupted inside and out, and will be till the end of time. But then ultimately, I was listening to this podcast, Black Site, Green Money. I'm not sure if you guys have watched that one. If not, it's fantastic. But their most recent episode had this awesome woman on there, and ultimately she was just talking about infrastructure sucks, but they're not going to fix it because they don't see the problem, because they have lived their whole life on infrastructure that they thought was working. So they're not going to innovate from that point. They're going to innovate with a thought process that infrastructure already works as it is. We know that the infrastructure sucks and it's not made for us. So we have to innovate from that perspective. But yeah, it's all a bunch of bullshit.
And to make it food for us.
Yeah. It is a bunch of bullshit. All right. So we are going
Speaking of innovation.
Exactly. Move on to the topic of the week. And this week, we are talking about crypto, y'all. I don't know. Where should we? There was so much happening earlier. Where should we start?
I know
y'all niggas invested in crypto.
I know we should call our coin if we make one.
Nigga coin. I'm sorry.
I thought blurred coin was like right on the nose.
Blurred coin is what I was thinking, but
we have blurred coin, and then we can have. You know what? No, I'm gonna save it. Never mind.
Afro coin.
Afro coin.
Afro samurai coin. I like that.
Bro.
Call it
Afro pig.
This
What's wrong with
motherfucker.
this nigga?
Anyway,
Ban him.
You said ban him.
I'd permaban. I don't know what is Discord doing, but like our video just keeps getting so glitchy. It's frustrating me.
Yeah.
That's more in the what's called.
Appreciate it, Spidey. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think what big happened this week really in crypto. Like I learned a little bit more about NFTs, which are fascinating, but that's a little separate from crypto overall. But I just love like
it's
the
all
nerdiness.
blockchain.
It's all blockchain, right?
Blockchain.
I just love that everything is being digitized. Everything is it feels like we have more control in a way, but then it also feels like it's still stepping away from us. Like I definitely think we have to innovate more in like crypto. Like I feel like again, a lot of white people are leading this charge, and I don't want that necessarily because they led the charge for the banking systems. So
yeah,
it's up to we have to innovate in the crypto area because the banking systems themselves definitely are not going to allow us to innovate. And that's kind of like the conversation that we had earlier to like this evening kind of got me thinking. I'm just like, yeah, there's no way for us to fix the banking system as it is now. So like, I want to see a place where we're doing business loans in crypto. Like, you know, we're doing like venture capital funding with cryptocurrency. I would love to see that day happen.
That would be interesting.
And I was talking to someone to get back to NFTs, which is crypto, right? But it's not currency, right? So I was talking about art. You make art, right? They're already selling crypto art. But what I'm thinking about is the legality of that. What happens when somebody uses the image you purchased with an NFT? Are you going to be able to go to a lawyer and say, "Hey, look, check this transaction history out, and now people can't use your meme without paying you a little bit of money. Maybe you get a crypto account, and every time somebody uses your meme, they gotta slide you some Bitcoin or something like that, or like a piece of a Bitcoin in order to use your NFT now." So it's like you're not only because people are buying these NFTs and it doesn't really mean anything yet. So I'm trying to figure out where this is headed. Like, are you going to own those images if you buy the NFTs of those images? Like the original, like if you can prove something's an original, like it seems like the Wild Wild West, but it's gonna shake into something eventually, right?
So the way I understand it is like it's like buying a Picasso versus a printing. So like it's more of a status symbol. Like I own the original version of this meme
right now. But I'm saying, when is somebody gonna go to a lawyer and say they're using? I bought this image. You don't really.
And they're using it.
It's really just a status symbol, like Create said. But I'm wondering if there's gonna be a time and when you can say, "Hey, that picture you're using for your meme is my picture," and then you just pull out your transaction history, and that's how you prove that I purchased this from the person who originally built it back in 2021. And whenever you're now in the future, when you're disputing the use of your
so
image,
our laws need to catch up.
Yeah, and that's always the case, right? The laws are super slow. They're never going to be fast. Like there's still laws in certain countries, like you can't take a woman across state on a date. Like you can't take across county lines or something like that. There's still laws like that on the books. Like nobody enforces them anymore, but they still exist because nobody thought to get rid of them.
There's some really dumb laws that are still out there.
Right. So I think for me, I have, to answer Swallow's original question, I have invested in Bitcoin. I have a little bit, a very small bit of all of these. I don't have anything substantial because I was just like playing around with money on Robinhood. So I don't own the actual coins. I just basically own stake in the coins pretty much. That's how Robinhood works. You don't actually get to transfer your coins to a different wallet or anything like that. But you get to partake in basically the the growth that they go through, right? So you get the financial growth. You just don't get the maneuverability of saying, hey, I don't want Robinhood to hold my coins anymore. Like, they're gonna hold your coins forever. You can't do anything but turn that into cash if you want to move it. So I do have a little bit of Ethereum Classic, I have some Bitcoin Cash. I have little tiny pieces of all of these. I took all my Robinhood money and just pretty much my entire portfolio in Robinhood's crypto, because I just wanted to see what this stuff was going to do in the next few, like, I think I started maybe like last month, and I just wanted to see what it would do throughout time. Doge, I wish I had started a week earlier. Like, that it has blown up. Doge was like 3 cents in March, and it's like 24 cents right now. Like, it was like under 5. Like when I started, it was like around 4ish, and then I was like, oh, I'll just get, I get a few of them or whatever, and then it went up to like 6 cents, and I was like, hey, man, that was a little bump I got. So I bought some more. I think most of my portfolio, air quotes, is Doge, right? It's Dogecoin. I'm like 50% Doge, and then the other coins. Then the rest of my money is in like a ton of other coins, and then on Cash App I have some Bitcoin. Like, I'll take, like, if somebody sends me money on Cash App, sometimes I'll just buy Bitcoin with it instead of cashing out.
Facts.
But I don't have a wallet yet. That's what I need to start doing, a wallet, and then I need to get like Suave and start mining this junk.
I had my wallet. I can't remember where I did it with the past.
That's stupid.
Bruh.
That's real stupid.
I started looking into Bitcoin like a long time ago, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I mean, I still don't really know.
Do you wish you could like punch past Suave in the face for not spending your money on it?
Dude, I didn't have money in the past. I was a fucking poor boy, but I wanted to try my hand at like getting in on mining it. Like, I had a little laptop, it had a discrete GPU. I was like, all right, I'm out here. And I still have in Google Drive somewhere, I have like the files for my wallet. I don't know what wallet it goes to. There's probably nothing in there. I want to find out one day.
No, if you
don't crack it open right here, right now, bro, on stream,
I can't.
Let's go.
I gotta figure out what app that was in. I was like,
let's figure it out.
I don't know.
Swap sitting on here like 3 coins, man, making like $100,000. And
if you had 3 coins, Swab, man, you could just take a break from work for the year.
Exactly, $63,000. Just 1 coin, Swab. You could take a break for a few months.
That's true.
Just take
could you imagine? Could you imagine how happy your wife would be in the morning? So like, hey, honey, like, it turns out I had like these 3 Bitcoin. I cashed them out.
Right.
We got $140,000 in the bank now.
That's free money.
Where you go? Where you want to go? Where you want to go?
That's what happened to my to my coworker. He was like, yeah, he bought a bunch of Bitcoin when it was like, you know how everybody was buying Bitcoin to like buy pizza, basically. So he bought a bunch of Bitcoin.
That one guy bought Bitcoin for
he saved
pizza for 13 Bitcoin.
He had like 10 or
13 Bitcoin.
He had like 15.
Could you imagine?
15.
He had like 15 or 20 Bitcoin or 10 or 15, something like that. And he went.
I'd be so mad.
He left. He put in a hard drive, put the wallet on a hard drive, placed it somewhere, and he was like, "Man, I had some Bitcoin. What'd I do with it?" He went back to the hard drive, saw how much he had. He was like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Okay."
Hey, that's fine.
If he right now, he's a millionaire already.
Yeah.
Like,
could you imagine like those guys who were fucking about with those coins?
I think he had like 5.
And like the early days, the guys were just fucking around with the coins, like just spinning them left and right, just doing whatever the fuck. Could you imagine how like guilty they feel now? Like, especially the people who had like 20 coins and some change, like they had the coins, and then like, could you imagine? Like, I'd be tossing and turning personally. Like, especially like if I had them and then I'm still over here like delivering pizzas and shit. Like, I'd be so upset.
I'd be sick.
Okay, so person who
my stomach
bought the Bitcoins, bought the pizza with the Bitcoins. I want to know what happened to who was that far ahead. They're accepting Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I want to know how rich that person is. Did they close their pizza shop down? Like, are they still selling?
They damn sure closed their pizza shop down.
And I would literally
after the fact, they were like, "Fuck this."
If you because there's if you.
Machine.
I would bulldoze my pizza shop and then literally build my financial office like right in the same spot.
Right on top.
But literally the same name. I would just do business as. My pizza shop would do business as Bitcoin Financial. Like,
that's it.
It'd be like Mom and Pop's Pizza Shop also does business as Bitcoin Financial. I would not change a single thing. I would just change the building. Get rid of the ovens, obviously, because
you don't need that.
No,
listen,
man.
You don't need to beg your money no more.
no, man. It's all good. But did y'all hear about the guy who's a Bitcoin billionaire, but he's a billionaire because of his Bitcoin wallet, but he's on his last password?
Oh yes. Oh my god, I would be so sick.
I think his wallet's worth like $4.5 billion. And
I would die. I couldn't take it.
And he can't remember his password.
I couldn't take it.
It's on his last password. After this is gonna just eat his password. I was like, oh my gosh, that shouldn't even be allowed. That's
there has to be a password tracker around here. Somewhere.
No,
like
it's crypto. It's crypto. It's the exact. They built it so people couldn't password crack your account. So
he's not alone in that story, though. There are so many that I've heard of that are just like
none of them are gonna be billionaires.
None of them are gonna be billionaires. No, a lot of them are like millionaires or like at least a few $100,000.
Yeah, it'll change their life. It won't change the lives of everybody in their near vicinity, right?
I would cry over $63,000 to be honest. If I had a coin and I couldn't get to that shit, I'd cry.
Oh my gosh! I wouldn't be able to sleep. There's no way. He was doing an interview and he was smiling. I was like, "There's no way. He's got to be on something."
He's smiling on the outside, but he's dying on the inside. Every single time this man has to wake up and go to work, he's just like, "Motherfucker, I am rich. I should not have to do this."
But you're not.
You said you're not right. Oh,
he's got to wait till these quantum computers get up and running and somebody can crack his password. It's the only way.
Oh gosh.
Because he can't do it.
Could you imagine if he cracks it, but then like the day he cracks it, Bitcoin goes down to $0?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He would end it.
You want that man to just leap off the planet.
Right.
You want him to step into space.
I just think of the worst case scenario, but overall, like,
yeah.
That's shitty. I mean, that goes to show people who get into this definitely need to understand and keep track of their passwords. Because, like,
hey man, write that thing on a sticky.
Right.
I know we're not supposed to do it, but this is the exception. Write that thing on a sticky.
I sticky note that shit right on my monitor.
Write that thing on a sticky. Write it in Morse code so nobody else knows what it is. Just have a sticky of Morse code somewhere and. Like this, you find a clever way of disguising it, but you write that thing on a sticky. Like,
yeah, you got
that's your wallet. That's like if you lost the keys to your house and your house was in another dimension. It's like there's no way
you're never getting back.
You got the little clicker up the portal, and you're like, I can't even get to them. So now you're just in the wrong dimension forever because you lost the dimension clicker.
That's crazy.
Just in your life.
So I did like AJ said, I just started mining. It's slow. I'm impatient.
Listen, and you're also competing against like these people with like these massive rigs, like warehouses, warehouses of like Bitcoin mining mining rigs.
Was telling you about the fucking micro center shit. One of the niggas in the Micro Center Discord have been getting in line every day to get fucking GPUs. Him and his buddy, they had like these two just like metal racks with like 10, 12 GPUs each. Just like going for it.
Did you get a picture? an address of preference. I don't care.
Listen, I wish I got the address.
It's
You
not
know what? Just give me the
viable.
username. I'll find them.
It's getting to the point where it's not viable to just mine. You have to, if you're just a regular person and you buy all those GPUs, right? It's still gonna take you more than a year to get your money back. Like it's not gonna be like tomorrow you're gonna be a millionaire, because Tech was saying, you're competing against these huge warehouses. I've seen all kinds of rigs, because I was looking into this the moment I started doing Doge and I saw just a little bit of success. I was like, now one of these big people
He's like, it's time to quit the day job and get on this mining grind.
I was
pickaxe
looking
in hand
at the rigs, and I was like, I can't make a rig for less than $10,000. Like, not a competent one, and that's only one. Like, that's only one. And these people are over here lining up, like, several of them together. All these configurations of graphics cards working together, and you can't even really break even until months later or whatever. So it's like you got to have so much. The reason I think crypto's suffering, and why people like Doge, is because, first of all, crypto does two things, right? It's disadvantageous to poor people, because if you can't build a rig to compete with the mine, it's not like really mining gold. A poor person could, well, I guess it is like mining gold, I guess, still, but like it's worse, because a poor person could, like Beverly Hillbillies, fall into some gold somewhere,
right?
Like or oil. They found oil, but still, like, they can fall into money by accidentally finding that rare material. But it's math. It's math that's hiding this this material, or this currency. So the only thing that can find it is math. It's not like chance won't help you. It doesn't matter. Like, you can't just turn on a rig. It's not like pulling a slot machine, right? If it was more like pulling a slot machine, I would have a problem with it, but it does. So it's disadvantageous to poor people, and its energy consumption is out the roof, right? Yeah. Because everybody's trying to the way to beat the system is to just more powerful rigs. Yep. That's more and more power.
More GPUs at it.
And so you're pretty much killing the planet, right, in order to mine something that doesn't actually exist, which is hilarious.
It's fake money,
but also very sad, right?
Yeah. That part definitely bothers me about, like, the like warehouses of GPUs and rigs and shit. Like, dog, you, like, it's crazy. But for me, I mean, humans are good at justifying the stuff that they do. And for me, I justify that, like, hey, I got these computers. I'm one regular ass nigga. I use these computers for regular Putin. And, if I can do something else with them in while they're idle, or while I'm not using them, like I use a MacBook Pro for my work. So I'm working 8 hours a day. I'm sleeping 4 to 6 hours a night. I'm not using either one of these. Like, put them to work. Put them to work.
No, and that's different, right? Like, that's still a little different. You didn't buy that rig for the no. It is significant though. Like, it's like if you bought Tesla's getting ready to, they were talking about doing like a carpooling thing. When you're not using your car, someone else can use it and you can get money off of that, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you still are using resources to have that car built and constructed and sent to you, right? But you're not doing any extra harm by putting it back in there and letting somebody else use it. And it's kind of like you're kind of doing something similar to that. Like, if your computer's going to be on, run that whatever. That's not really going to destroy the planet. Even if a lot of people were doing that, it wouldn't destroy the planet. The problem is there are people who are doing so much more of that than you are, like 1,000, hundreds of thousands of times what you're doing.
It's crazy.
That they're the ones draining from one spot. You just, man, if you would know if you were effing up the planet by your electric bill. You'll find out at the end of the month if you're killing the planet, like, real quick, and you'll stop, because as a person with limited funds, you look at your electric bill, you see that you're killing yourself before you kill the planet.
These pockets.
Right. So
Nah, I feel
I
you.
think that's a little different.
I feel that. I feel that, and I appreciate that. I don't know, man. I'm curious. I didn't even try mine in Bitcoin. I was looking at the difficulty. I was like, you know what? It's gonna be a million years before I get a single Bitcoin, like mining in my free time. And so I went to Ethereum, which is still rough. It's gonna be like it'll be
It's like
months
two
before I
grand.
have one. Yeah,
Right. It's at 2 grand right now.
20
Which is
like almost
which is why
2,500.
yeah, I don't that's why I don't go I'm going after anything that's like I have a little Ethereum. By little I mean less than 1% of Ethereum. But I go for the other coins, all the altcoins that I can find because
Yeah,
in currency, Bitcoin's the rising tide that raises all boats. So
yep,
as Bitcoin makes money, the other ones will make significantly less, but still money.
yeah,
So you'll find that like because Bitcoin is doing well, all of them are doing well, and if Bitcoin does poorly, they all do poorly because everybody kind
that's
of
true.
thinks Bitcoin when they think crypto. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going for the smaller altcoins because those are the ones I can get a large
Yeah,
supply of. And if like think about it, if you get 1,000 Doge is at 26 cents, right? So you get 1,000 Doge. By the time Doge is at $1, that's $1,000. Like that's easy math for anybody. So and if it keeps climbing like Bitcoin did, you could literally just sit on 1,000 Doge and then one day wake up with your
billions.
$4.5 billion and hopefully you remember your password.
Hey, I put that shit in LastPass, and I did. I also started, like I told y'all, I started mining this Raven coin, and I was looking at this other small joint because I was like, you know what, I can get some of this quick. Like I think I already got paid out with like 10 Raven coin. And I was like, if I just get a couple, and this shit like keeps going up, like I can do nothing. I can try something else and just like hang on to my little 10, 20, however many Raven coin, and be rich one day. And I like. I already said this to y'all, but like I don't think there's ever been something that spoke to me more as a nerd than like making money by virtue of having computers. Like
Yeah. You should. We should. Yeah. You're printing your own money now. You're your own printing press,
that's it.
as opposed to having to wait for somebody else to tell you or to say when money can be printed or not. And the funny thing is, I just found out during my search for crypto information, I just found out that the Federal Reserve or whatever that they aren't really federal. That's their name, but that's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not federal. They're called the Federal Reserve. That's their business name.
Yeah.
That's not a designation. It's not like the
It's not a
federal.
real thing.
I forgot what FCC stands for. It's not like the FCC. No, they're
Yeah.
not federal.
They're
They're a
not an
private.
agency.
Yeah, they're a privately owned company or whatever, or privately like they just happen to do business with the government, so they call themselves the Federal Reserve. And so a lot of people think that that's and maybe I'm just a dummy, been walking around being a dummy this whole time, and that's fine because you learn a new thing every day. But to find out that like shoot, the people who print money aren't even the government, but somehow rich people have just been able to like tell the government how much money's worth and when they're going to print
Man,
money, and like the government has to go to them and be like, hey, we need to print money.
like what?
Like they got to go ask permission. Well, I don't know if they ask permission. I don't know exactly how it works because
Yeah,
I
but
definitely
still,
was in school. But the fact that the government has to go to a company outside of the government and tell them, hey, the American people need money is insane. And that's why I like cryptocurrency because it's decentralized, and that's really one of their selling points.
Yeah, and that's why they're afraid of it because it is.
Absolutely.
It does take it out take them out the equation.
yeah.
Absolutely. Which is why they don't want to stop it. They just want to make sure that they have their foot in the door when it
They want to be able
starts.
to regulate.
Yeah.
They want to take some and then tell you how much you can get.
Right.
You want to get
Exactly.
5 Bitcoin? No, your credit says you're gonna get 1.
Yeah, right. So, I guess I know you've been looking at NFTs and stuff, AJ, and I know everybody's kind of been looking at crypto a little bit. Like, what do you see for like the future of crypto? Like, I feel like there's not a lot of. It's not really based in like anything real. Like I feel like we've kind of said. So it's like what's gonna happen next? Like it's becoming mainstream. Bitcoin is, is all of crypto as far as people are concerned. What's next?
Money's fake, so that's the first thing. It's not real money.
Credit cards.
Yeah. You said credit cards.
Crypto credit cards. That's probably already a thing, to be honest. Like I'm sure that's a thing. I'm sure somebody's done that already. I mean, if you type in crypto credit cards in Google right now, you'll probably find one.
Let me see.
But I think for the most part, crypto is. I don't think it's going anywhere because, I mean, most of us do digital transactions to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I got paper money, something went wrong. Something went wrong if somebody gave me paper money to do anything.
Situation.
I get so mad when my family gives me paper money. I'm like, cash at me. That's the reason the app exists. Don't transfer it from your bank account to my bank account seamlessly. Do not give me paper money. You're making me spend money to save money or to put money in the bank. I gotta go now. I gotta waste my gas to go drive to a bank to deposit because you can't even take a picture of money. You can't be like, hey, I got 20 bills. Let me take a picture and deposit. And deposit my 20 bills by taking a picture. It's like, no, you gotta go physically to a bank, put those notes in there.
Tell them check your
so I don't. Right. So it's all money is pretty much has been crypto for years because people didn't trust credit cards and online transactions for a long time.
Yeah.
Because they were like, I can't see my money. I don't know where my money's going. I have no idea where my money's going. I can't see it. And it's like, so we've trained for this basically. We've trained to not know what values our money. And the truth about money is it's usually based on economies and all kinds of weird math that most people don't even understand and most people go to school to understand.
And even they don't understand.
Right. So I don't know. I think we're gonna fall in love with it. I definitely think we're gonna I think it's gonna be the new thing. If you look at like all the science fiction movies, there's always some weird credits thing. Like it's never cash.
Credits, time. What's the other? I forgot the other one, but there's like credits. There's time.
Credits is Star Wars. Time is from the Justin Timberlake movie where they were like, they were actually. I mean, we're not talking about the plot here. We're talking about the idea.
The idea was terrible. Like, damn, well, I mean, so I guess the concept is really already a reality. Like, poor people live shorter lives because, a variety of reasons.
Can't afford to live longer lives.
Exactly. Can't afford to live longer lives. Essentially, is what it boils down to.
Look, man, if they live, they'll die just from living that long. They'll be like, "Dang, I'm just gonna die of starvation if I live that long." I can't. I'm slated to live 60 years because that's about all I can cover financially.
Yeah,
and after that, I'm gonna have another job.
It was interesting to see like none of them aged, but like they went off of time as their source.
Well, I get the original concept. Hey, time is the only resource that we really have. Everything else is kind of like arbitrary. We're kind of like making it a resource, like not resource, but we're kind of making it the end all be all. But time is the only one that you can really not get back, can't recoup, can't. You know what I'm saying? There's no substitution for it, all that other jazz. So I get that. But the point I was making is that, like, you see all these transactions happening digitally on all the shows, right?
Right.
Like it's very rare that like somebody they have like a data pad in their hands and then they show your money going into their money's account. Like, but you just see a bar moving. That's UI. We all know UI could be fake. Like but we trust it. We trust it. When I see that little Cash App thing spin down to zero, it went into my account. I don't even think about it. I don't even think Cash App lie to me. I work in UI. I know how easy it is to just have money spin down. That doesn't mean anything. It's not a lever. It's not like a physical lever that's launching the money from one bank account to another. is friggin' just UI that looks fancy and looks nice, and we trust it. So I don't think crypto's gonna have any problem for us and for the kids coming up behind us and their kids and whatever. Like crypto's gonna make a lot of sense.
Normal. It's gonna be very normal.
Yeah, it's gonna be the norm. The norm.
Now, what stabilizes it, I have no idea, because the people who don't want it stabilized are the reason it's not stabilized now, right?
True. That's true. Well, I guess we can just wait and see, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's it
But
for the podcast. Oh yeah, so really quick, like 5 minutes or less. Like give us a rundown of NFT. Like all I know so far is that like you don't really own the thing. You own like a JSON file or a JSON representation or some shit, and people are selling them for a fuck ton of money. What?
You own a receipt is what you own.
You own a receipt.
You purchased a receipt. It says that it's blockchain, so it's the same thing as a Bitcoin transaction. You basically the transaction shows that you purchased the authentic piece of whatever it is, and now it literally is right now just bragging rights. It literally is just like right now it doesn't have any applications that really matter to anybody who's not just got money to burn, right?
Okay.
But I think in the future it'll have applications for like I said, I don't know if this was I said this during the regular talk, right? Like not during pre-podcast gaming or whatever, or pre-podcast stuff, but that you might be able to sue somebody in the future if they use your meme or something like that, because you got the transaction that says you purchased that picture. So I think that's where it's headed. It's not there yet. Right now, it's literally I bought Carl says transacting stabilizes the coin. I don't remember what part we were talking about when he typed that.
So the more transactions, the more
stabilize the coin. Oh, yeah. Because I said I don't know what's going to stabilize the coin, and Carl says transacting will stabilize the coin, which does make sense, right? The more people buy into the system,
using it,
more stable it is, right? So, but for NFTs, it's right now it's on the blockchain, so it is just like what Bitcoin is, except for it's not currency. It's a thing that you traded currency for, and then really all that thing is like almost like a digital certificate that I own this thing. It doesn't have any value yet, but the idea is intriguing to me for other things, like what you can off of that principle. What can you make? What can you make? We were talking about cards, trading cards, and stuff like that, and all kinds of things you can get into, because what crypto gives you is a history, right? It gives you a history, and it gives you reliability. You trust the transactions in the chain, because you're like, okay, it's a cryptocurrency, so it's not easy to crack. Somebody can't just forge the authenticity of this thing. So if I buy something in crypto, they got the basketball trading cards and all that stuff that we're trading NFTs that they have, where it's like, oh, I bought this LeBron James dunk, right? This is the legitimate one. It's like a baseball or a basketball card, right? It's like LeBron James rookie card or something. So it's like, that's what people are buying right now. They're buying digital moments that already exist somewhere else, and it's really for bragging rights. But I think the future for that is to be able to own digital assets. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah. All right. I'm curious about that. Like, as far as like memes and shit going viral, like how is that? Like, are people like, I don't know, I feel like you're not gonna be able to make money suing regular people for that type of shit. And so it's like what's the end game for that? But I don't know. Nobody knows right now.
Wait. I got it. Real quick. About maybe 3 years ago, I was in a business incubator, and there was a kid in that incubator who was making a meme trading app where you traded memes like stock, but there was no money in it yet.
Right.
But he was like, as memes circulate the web, you can basically acquire the meme. I don't know how, I can't even remember how you bought the meme, but you could trade the meme as like, okay, like the Kermit tea sipping meme, right? That's your meme, right? That thing's trading high right now. And it was like you can kind of like it was just like the stock market, but it was about trading memes. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was going to be great. But he was going the social media route, where he was trying to be like
users. He wasn't. He didn't actually have like a business plan. He was just trying to gather users on there.
Yeah, right. They were on Reddit for a minute too. Like they had done like a lot of push on Reddit. I think they're done now. I tried to look up the website. It's called dankmemes.com or something like that. It's definitely a white name, not a black name.
Absolutely. That's crazy. So Carl said you could craft a smart contract that automatically pays you when the NFT is used. No need to sue. That would be crazy. Yeah.
Somebody from OnlyFans actually use NFTs.
Damn.
Yeah, they. Oh yeah, and that would be. They could sell like, like, hey man, this is specifically video to you or whatever they're doing, and you get it. Whatever you're going to her or his OnlyFans page for.
Right.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Like I said, I think that because we're already living digitally, even if we don't want to admit it, I think NFTs and I think cryptocurrency, like that, it's inevitable. It was an inevitable thing, and it's just we're in a transition period, which is always messy and sucks.
Gotcha. All right, man. We'll see how it all shakes out. That wraps up the podcast. We definitely want to thank y'all again for joining us. Let us know what you think about the discussions we had today. Or if there's something you haven't seen us talk about that you want our perspective on, you can find us at Blerdimension everywhere, namely here on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. To leave those questions, comments, concerns, let us know. We stream the podcast live here on Twitch Thursday nights, so make sure you come through next week. We're going to have a brief intermission, but stay tuned for after podcast gaming. About to play some Rocket League, man. Orange versus blue.